that kind of stuff. I understand what's happening. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to tell you a thing.
Like it happens so quickly, especially in Fortnite. But that's one of my favorite parts about it is just like the action, the APM, the actions per minute in Fortnite is unparalleled to any other VR I've ever experienced, and that's what really draws me to this game specifically. So we are looking at Moffin, who pulled through, man, took it right underneath the feet of people like Aim Hero that Zeke and I had. We had the pleasure of casting it at South Korea. He crushed it.
Yeah.
We saw Sinnoh out there.
We met him.
We met all, dude. It was like so surreal, dude.
Yeah,
right?
Dude. I remember that story that what happened so vividly. We met him because we were like, we're like in almost like a green room waiting to go. Yeah. And we saw players around us, and Aim Hero was like, he popped in the room, and we're like, oh, hey, like, hi.
Matter of fact, remember, there was like this divider, we were standing over it, and they were like, Zeke, I love you.
And I was like, wait, what? And they were like, yeah, you're Zeke, and you're Monster D-Face. We were like, wait, oh, first of all, congratulations, Moffin XD. We know you're the victor, and that is exactly why 11 eliminations and the Victor Royale, 21-point game, massive lead for him. But yeah, I remember, and then they just called us out. They're like, yeah, you're Monster, and you're Zeke. And I was just like, what the heck?
That was definitely crazy to think outside the country.
Yeah, that was
like,
what was
we're
so...
out the country. This is Fortnite on a global scale here.
Man, how that's so crazy. That was like at the beginning of the year, and now here we are, dude.
Yeah.
We
have not made a full year casting Fortnite yet. This thing is just like exploded.
Oh goodness, the snipe
like
coming out! Wow, what a massive shot coming out of Moffin there. And look, check this out. 31 players left. He's already on 6 eliminations. This guy is crazy, and this is who is going to the World Cup Finals. This is the level of play we will see in the finals.
Yep, Moffin's going to have to bring it. When you put a player who's only experienced one region, let's just say, against the likes of the rest of the world, who knows what region is really going to come out on top. Keep in mind, too, though, guys, EU and the American regions, the European and American region, will of course have a larger presence just off of the sheer numbers. So it is going to be interesting how the top 20 turns out, especially considering, some presence a little less than others. But I mean, all these guys are equally skilled.
That's right.
In some capacity, they're all deserve to be there, all of them.
And what's funny too is we interviewed, in case you missed it earlier, go back and check out the VODs. We actually interviewed Sozman, the winner from OCE, and he was just basically explaining, like, we asked him, how do you feel about going into the Fortnite World Cup Finals? And he was like, oh, OCE plays differently than NA does, and it's going to be interesting for me going to finals and competing against that because we just play so differently. So I almost, in my head, like, I just imagine everyone kind of playing their own game going into finals, but at the same time, like, you got to think this is a $30 million prize pool. This is huge. The biggest stage ever
for different places. I mean, but that goes against everyone else too, though.
Sure.
Because that means, like, oh man, just think about it.
I think finals going to have its own meta.
They're going to have a style, and of course the pressure's going to be high, guys. I think the real question is who's going to have the confidence to take a fight and win a fight. Like, who is straight up going to have the confidence and just be like, you know what? I don't respect your builds. I'm pushing you. Who's going to be that guy, right? Because that's really what it comes down to. If you are confident like that, that's why you see people like Bugga, Dubs, Clicks, right? Stompy. They was like, what duo are you? I don't care if you're Kinstar. I'm gonna take your wall right now.
Exactly.
And that level of play is why. And dude, we've seen Stompy do it every week. Even this time around, he got 11. He was just outside of top 10. So trust me, he's still here, guys. That's what they do. They just do crazy plays.
Yeah, that's actually something you taught me way back when. Is you cannot. Let's say it's just Zeke, me, and I'm in this game somehow. I don't know, some alternate universe, and I'm good at the game, and I'm fighting off against someone like Moffin here, who qualified as that #1 player going into finals. I cannot stop and sit here and go, that's Moffin. I know what he's capable of. I can't make a mistake. I just have to go. It doesn't matter who that is. I just have to play my game. I have to play the very best that I can. And at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for, right? Like, the moment you stop and think, that's Tfue, I think that it's already too late. You've already made the error, right? Like, you can't stop, and some people can't. So they're like, okay, I know that's Tfue. I know he's going to try and probably do this based on what I've seen and the information I have. But if you're just sitting there and thinking like, oh man, that's Tfue, I don't know if I can fight him. Like, no, you can fight him. You've made it to finals for a reason. Take the fight if you think you can.
Yeah, right? It's also going to get crazy too, because for Fortnite World Cup, if you guys don't know already, we're going through full games. The early game story, the contestation, the points of interest, who likes to land where the map's going to be at that point, right? Things are going to change, and the game is going to be played in a way that we have not seen yet. And that's what excites me the most, is that we're going to see 100 of the world's best under one hub. The Fortnite World Cup.
Oh man, I
Finals.
can't wait. I can't wait. And to see all the Fortnite fans there as well, kind of cheering on the people they support, it's going to be
Are you ready
amazing.
to feel the crowd's energy?
I'm going to cry.
Rip through your body?
I'm going to cry, dude.
It's literally you're gonna feel the vibration of the entire stadium.
Just erupt when incredible plays happen, you know.
Oh man.
Man, dude, chills, dude, chills.
Chills, dude.
Oh yeah, we just fist bumped. You guys didn't see it, Fortnite fan. We had a little bit of a moment there. We hope you had that moment with us. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Are you ready? Are you hyped for the Fortnite World Cup Finals in New York City? Alter Ego here finds an elimination, cracks that player. Now this is his first elim. He's probably hoping for more, right? At this point, he wants as many points as possible. So he's gonna look to probably play a little bit more aggressive, right? But look at everyone else. Muffin, the #1 player who came through for Asia, is in this lobby, and he's dominating the high ground. 12 eliminations, by the way.
He has just been shutting it down while we've been chatting up a storm here. Muffin going for the high ground. He's holding it. Nice little side jump right there. No errors coming out of him. And look at how he uses the boombo to crack open all the builds. Nice little 82 right there. Here comes the pressure. Can he get the follow-up? He's looking for it. Nice little side jump, and that's another one. This player is in pickaxe territory. Bye-bye jackpot. And Moff could not even get the loot off that. Couldn't get the spoils. Another boombo crack open right there. And when a fresh build comes out, if you do not hesitate, you send a boombo right away, you break it all open. So that's how he's able to just like catch these players off guard, because those roof panels are just, that's it, exploding right up.
Yeah.
Down to the low ground, CXV gets one elim there, and it's Macy and Mev who's going toe-to-toe. Mob still just has the dominant position.
Yeah, I mean, so he's going to drop down. He's got the single build, so he had to take a little bit of fall damage to rejoin everyone from the stratosphere. Macy's down below, and look at this. Immediately, boom, he says, I know you heard me take this fall damage. You don't know how much it was. They go for the challenge, and Muffin was prepared. He knew. Again, it's just about dictating the game, right? He's like, I want you to challenge me. You know that I'm hurt, how hurt I am. You do not know. And just like that, dictating the game yet again, cleans up that victory out. 15 eliminations.
Points is that? It's that 25-point game.
That's
literally doubling his score out of nowhere. If you were in the top 10 and you had that come up, that's it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, guys, you know, we've had an awesome time, but for now, we're going to hit pause. Let's send it back into studio with Dr. Lupo, because I believe the doctor is in.
What a terrible, repetitive joke, Zeke, but I appreciate the effort. I'm just kidding. Thanks, Zeke. Appreciate that. Crazy games from Asia and Oceania. You love to see kind of the meta changes and how different regions present themselves and the way that they adjust their gameplay relative to everybody else. But Europe today, and as we've seen multiple times in the past, Europe has done an excellent job of putting on a show like I think few people could even possibly imagine. And to talk about that and an interesting turn of events for who ended up at the top, joining me right now is Sundown. What do you think so far about Europe?
Thank you so much, Lupo. Indeed, it was crazy. So just a couple of quick facts I want to write down. 15 points separated 100th place and 8th place. That means a 5-point victory route was the difference of going to New York City and being in the 100th spot. That is absurd for how close it was. Blackso, in that final game we watched, pushed him up to 61 points. He was tied at 61, but because he had the victory royale and got the average elim at the end, it pushed him into the last spot. We talk about how every single interaction ends up mattering, and then unfortunately on the outside looking in, Airwalks, the last play we saw, if he had had one So on the outside, looking in, 2 top 15 finishes, but not being enough. That lets you know how crazy it is. However, the player who took the top spot was Cyphers in Dreda with a crazy run, and we're going to be joined by him right now. And Dreda, man, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good.
I mean, I would hope so. So we saw you yesterday put on an incredible show. In week after week, your placings have gone up. What was the difference between this weekend and all of the other weekends? Were you just feeling it? Did you eat your Wheaties for breakfast? What's going on?
The thing is, the other weeks I wasn't that confident, but this week I decided to try and talk with someone while playing. So that kind of helped. Getting to like talk to people, getting them to calm me down and stuff. And I got good RNG. Very good.
Nice, yeah, being able to get all of that and put it together. So you got off to an incredible run, winning 2 of your first 4 games. How were you able to get those victories? Did you just dominate them out? You had a solid amount of elims. What were those wins like?
I was using the bowler to get the end game, and then I usually found out like when I needed to drop out and stuff to go for the eliminations, and I usually had my bowler until end game. So the thing is, you should try and keep your bowler until end game, because it's really strong. You can go out of your bowler, get a lot of kills, and win the game. Also, you can use the bowler to get height most of the times.
Yeah,
so I did that sometimes. And
we saw you execute on that a number of times, which is kind of something we were talking about, pushing the gameplay and actually turning the baller into something that was aggressive. Now, kind of about midway through, you looked at the leaderboard, saw you were in such a lead and knew you'd be able to close it out. But my question is, when it was all said and done, and you saw you were there, you're in the #1 spot, what did you do? Did you run around your house? Did you go tell your parents? Were you celebrating on Discord? What was that moment like?
I was celebrating so much. I actually got hosted by Symphony. My stream was going crazy. I was actually, while I was playing, like my 5th game, I started crying because I almost knew I was qualified. So that was probably one of the best moments in my life ever. I don't know what to say.
It's got to be exhilarating, honestly, to know that, especially in Europe, which we've talked about as one of the most difficult regions to qualify in. Even with 8 positions, there's so much pressure there. But I got to ask a kind of a random question. I keep seeing the lighting change on your face. What are you watching right now?
I'm actually watching the Fortnite stream.
All right, you see yourself. There's layers here. There's layers. It's very Inception level. Well, thank you so much, Andretta, for joining us. Before we let you go, though, if you could do me a favor, please, 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 please shout out your own channels, shout out your duos channels, anybody you want to.
Okay. So my Twitch is Andretta. My Twitter is Cypher Andretta. My YouTube is Andretta. And I want to shout out Shoko-Laden, and all the people in that Discord. And I want to shout out my stream. Thank you so much for the support.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Again, incredible performance both yesterday and today. Congratulations. $10,000, a spot in New York City, and as Golden Boy would say, we'll have to get a slice of pizza. We'll be seeing you later, man.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely incredible. It's crazy to think just the age ranges too. You have kids that are so young, all the way up to, I believe the oldest qualified right now is 24
right now. Yep.
Consider how much they're playing for too. I don't blame him honestly for getting emotional in the middle of even halfway through his games. It's insane.
It's just nuts to me where he's like, oh, I didn't have the level of confidence. And then right after, it's like, yeah, about like halfway through my games, I started crying because I knew I'd done it. And it's like, that's the level of confidence you need to be bringing on the final day. Just huge shout out to Andretta. Go follow him on Twitter, follow him on Twitch, give him all the plugs because I promise you'll be seeing more of this prodigy. Topping Europe is an incredible accomplishment, but we have more games and more regions to be getting into. We saw Oceania and Asia just now. We're going to hop on in to Brazil for a brief little bit. So back on over to the cast as we go.
Thank you guys so much. Man, you know, I feel like we've just nerded out about Fortnite, but now seeing Andretta be there and just like talk about things, it makes me want to nerd out more.
Dude, it gives me the feels, man. These young champions coming up and coming out, and it's crazy. Like he said, he just knew he made it, because if you look at the track history of all the players who've qualified so far, I say it every week, it only takes about 5 or 6 games. That's all it takes. If you get 5 or 6 aces, just solid games, big points, big placement, you're knocking on the door.
Right.
All you got to do is not choke the rest. Just
Right.
ease it out. Just ease it out. Get a couple here, get a couple there. Secure the deal, and Andretta knew 5 games in, oh my gosh, I think I got the 5 that I really needed to make it to New York City. And that was it. That was like literally it. Long behold, though, he gets first in the whole thing. European, the toughest region, in my opinion.
Yeah.
One of the toughest regions. Of course, you can't take away from West, who sometimes only gets 1 spot. You know, OCE, Asia, and Brazil, of course, they only get 1 spot. It's crazy. That's arguably harder, but when you talk about mass player pool, Europe is hard, dude. To get #1 is insane.
Well, especially for Andretta, I had a card not that long ago kind of saying a few of his placement spots. Last week we watched him end in 610th place, and now the last solo week. Now to see him in the final week come out as that #1 player, you know, that's
It just clicks.
You know, I would associate with, like, you know, there's 8 spots, and if you hit one of 8, great, awesome. I've qualified, great. But to be able to say, of that 8, I was #1. Look, you know, Tifus of the world, you guys need to respect my game. I came in #1 in Europe. That's why I'm here in the finals. Like, let's go. It's going to be insane. Oh, man, I love Fortnite so much. 23 people left in the current lobby, though. Monster hopping in Storm Circle 6. Now, guys, don't forget, we are hopping into Brazil games. These are live. For a moment there, we had the timer. We're about 1:30 or so left on queue times. Don't forget, it's 10 games.
An hour.
About an hour 40. Okay, I was close. Darn. I was just off by 10. We have either that 3-hour window or 10 matches to play, whichever comes first. And then, obviously, we're going to, you know, make sure that, because don't forget, you can queue up even with those last few seconds and then play out an entire match. So we want to just make sure everyone has enough time to wrap up their games, get those standings out. But here we go. Peru, hopping in with him. 100 ping. All right.
Things are unfolding right now as we speak. So this is a live situation here. Brazil, known for another region that you have to pick up heavy elimination, secure placement points. This is not just a win every game and you make it through scenario. You need the elims as well. Nice shot right there from Peru. 100 ping. Connecting with the combat. Oh, bumps his noggin right there, and it's going to cost him a second launch pad.
Yeah, you definitely want to look up. You never want to make that happen because you waste a secondary launch pad, but it's okay. New rotation coming out. He's got to reassess. He's going to be able to get himself to safety. Now, he's already hit top 15, so everything's okay. We're still in the running here. But, you know, there's a lot of big names in the Brazil region. All the W7M boys. You see the red teams, right? You know, Snow, just to name one. You know, the X-Own King. So many talented players.
Seen Techno Viking kind of pull through.
Also from red, you know, man, there's so many players here that this spot could go to. Tries to challenge for the launch pad, doesn't get it, and says, Kin, I'm going to go ahead and shut you down. You took that launch pad. I need it, and that's what helps him make the rotation.
Ooh, but he does get hit by a combat. It's Ice who's in the high ground, so Peru's now found himself in a dire situation. He's got to start healing. Tony's underneath the build, putting some pressure up, but Tony gets melted by Code, Pulsari, and so does Gabriel. Just gets owned by Vanessa on the edge there. Clip Node now putting pressure down. We're going to hop into his perspective here as he's looking for this combat. That's 1, that's 2. Doesn't find a 3rd, but it's okay as he raises himself up another layer. He's trying to get a brief moment of peace in this crazy storm that he's in right here. He can't even heal. A nice little shot. Fran, he catches him in the toe. It's going to keep him in the game here.
This is huge, man. He's already on 8 eliminations. When we talk about elimination counters, especially on finals, 8 is massive. You know this player has been on a spree, and look at this. Clipnote looking to play it out as technically as possible, looking for these angles, waiting for people to turn their backs and send shots over. I think he's trying to go for the wall replace.
Yeah, he hit this guy for white, so he knows he can take this right here. He's got to be careful, though. Can't let his guard down. Turns around. It's Peru, who was in a weird spot before. He was very low on health. Turns that one around. Someone else goes down to the storm right there, so Clipnote couldn't even get that. It's Vamos, who was still in the game. And Exakao holding up the high ground right now. What's he going to do? He's just walking on these builds. He doesn't have anything left. Neither does Clipnote.
In the shadow form, he just obliterates the player. That was absolutely insane. But Clipnote is the victor of that game. Like, see what it did there? You maybe saw it, maybe didn't. It's okay. Next game, though, massive prop. Oh, you see
the clip and the this and the that.
I just rhymed. No big deal. I'm not a rapper. 44 players in the next game. moving on in. Man, he popped that ghost right out of the sky. Maybe you could call him a ghost buster.
Oh.
Shout outs to Jeff.
All right,
I made
got
your
that
joke.
one.
We're going to high five after
Oh,
this
did you
from
just
production.
take his joke?
Yeah, he wanted me to make the joke on broadcast, so I did it. Again, guys, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Give production some love. There's so many people that work so hard to make this all possible, and they're all wonderful human beings that I honestly cannot give and express enough love for. So just say, hashtag Fortnite World Cup production team. You guys are awesome. That would mean the world to me and to them. And an hour and a half. I guess 36 minutes. I'm just going to be specific because everyone's always like, you're rounding, don't do that. I'm sorry, it's just how I work.
Yeah, Zeke, there's 1 hour and 36 exact minutes and 13 seconds at this current moment. Every second, every moment matters.
That's right. Here we go.
It's Fax trying to get this guy to come down. Combat redeploy. He gets behind the tree. Tree works on his favor and shadow bomb.
Ooh, you saw it too. He was like,
Yeah.
dude, I want this elim. I worked real hard. I need to find it. And they shadow bomb out. They're like, no, no, no.
Oh,
and
what
in
happened?
the end, it was the elimination credit. He must have
Storm.
fallen to the storm. Don't forget, with those
Wow.
recent changes, you got to be more careful, man. That 60-second timer, you can't play around with that.
Dude, he must have. I can only imagine in shadow form, if you wall hop off of a structure and it throws you back just a little bit.
A little bit.
It must have been just enough to hold him into the storm.
Yeah.
And that's how Fax caught that elimination here. As the congestion, this is unreal for the Brazil region. You don't see it get this crazy, but 40 players basically on a non-moving zone right now. We're just approaching the first. Luco boy finds Mew Pao there, and Oni Tomori is putting in some pressure as well. Just kind of see what he can find here. Fax just waiting on by, trying to
He's got the launch pad.
holding it in the hand.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give it away because if you put it down early, it does make that sound and players know, all right, community launch pad, there you go. Great, you making sure that the storm overtakes it, so if anyone else wants to do it, they take the damage for it. Bro, we are nowhere. Still 9 players. 8 players need to fall before top 25.
Yeah, this is actually insane right now. These guys are sticking around for placement in these final moments here. But if you want to take first place, you got to get elims here, and that's why Fax is being so proactive right now.
Something to point out too, check the right side of your screen. The damage threshold, don't forget about that. Look at this number though, 1,000 damage above the threshold. This guy is putting in work right now. Fax, he is going full send. He is aware. He wants to try and qualify. Remember, there's a spot up for grabs in Brazil, and these are live games happening right now. So, you know, Oceania and Asia happened overnight. We still have to crown a champion coming out of the final solo week for Brazil.
Yeah, Fax is already at 13 points, so if that was his game 1, he's way ahead of the curve here. This might be about his 3rd or so, but nonetheless, he's still in the running right now. These are some respectable points to be had. He's going for the high ground, catches him with a clothesline to zoom, straight up, hits him with the 96. And now, he's in it, but he's gonna go down to the low ground here. He doesn't want to contest for the high. He still has to pop some minis, and the server's collapsing on him with raining fire here. He's got to be extremely careful. Lucky for him, the high ground is in a battle of its own now. Fax catches a moment to regather himself as Ganks and Lorax is in the high ground.
Man, and look at all these players coming in from the community launch pads, any rotational tools they had, the
no,
Rift to
the
goes.
van.
Oh yeah.
That's a weird place to be, man. You can't build on that thing.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You have to build over it.
Up and over.
A shot into the storm.
Oh my.
And that is Tuelas picked up 2. Tate as well. Frita, batata frita. 2 eliminations
Is that,
of aim.
is that another? Oh, that one's just yoinked from him. He almost had it. But credit is still to be had here as he is turning up right now.
Bro.
I can't pronounce that the way Zeke did, but batata frita is going in right now. He's looking for this high ground.
You see the technical builds too, using the cone and then hopping out around, using that floor to catch yourself so you kind of save a build there? All right, batata frita. I'm about it. An 82 and a follow-up. That is Lorax.
And he got the mats. That's what's important here. He does have the materials to hold out now. The high ground is here. Can he stick it out though? Yes, players are dropping right now. We're in top 6 suddenly. So all these placements are being divvied out. Just one more person goes down and just a little bit more is going to be rewarded to him here.
Man.
So you can see the shot there.
This was really good from him, right? Making the decision to go high ground. Look at this. He's put him in the top 5. We were top 25 when we kind of tuned into him, right around there. And because of his decision making, he's gotten himself all the placement points. The victory route is the next threshold. And look, Monster, he's just looking to close this out.
That's right, and I love it because he's just textbook holding his high ground, but he is out of mats now. So this is where you have to go down, uses the cone right there to sit on that, and he just has to give the high ground to Avir here.
I believe that is Avalar, I think.
Oh, Avalar, gotcha,
yes,
gotcha.
I think so. Sundown can correct me at some point. He's going to go toe-to-toe with that player, though, and that is it. Good day, sir.
All right, did he get mats off that? He didn't, Zeke.
He's got the flint knock, though. He's got...
He's got the combat. That's what he's got right there. One more shot to Wonder Urzen is going to go down. Is he going to go down? Yes, he is. Free to connects in the final moments right there and walks away with the 6th elimination victory royale.
Man, 16-point game coming out of the Brazil region. You like to see it. Now, Fortnite fam, you know we've had so much fun hanging out with you, but for now, let's sit back in the studio and see what Dr. Lubo's got.
Thank you, Zeke. Thank you, Master D Face, you legends. I know a lot of people are wondering, and yes, we're going to look at it here in a second because the tension in Brazil is high. South America putting on an excellent show, and we want to see what the standings are, so I'm going to take a little stroll on over, and we're going to look at the board and see exactly where everybody is lining up right now, and here you go, top to bottom. Club Note sitting at 51 points, 4 games played in 2 victory royales, but right on his tail, only King, 45, just 6 points behind, and only 3 games played. You see the spread here, not too far away from each other. Multiple players from previous qualifying weeks. King, code Knicks right there. Both players already have made their way. They've already punched their ticket to New York City, but consistency is key, as you can see here, an example of exactly that. You'd love to see it. Brazil, thank you so much for everything you've done for us so far, putting on an excellent show. But before we get into the rest of the games of the day, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, so don't go anywhere except for maybe to the bathroom. Sorry, half hour. I do this every time. Production yells at me repeatedly. I don't know how to tell time, all right? It's 30 minutes. Go get some lunch. Swing on back. See you in a bit.
going on, Fortnite fam? We're here for week number 8. And you know it's time to go meet up with the casters, so let's...
So much for your intro, Zeke.
Spooky, no! It's time for weekend!
I'm Golden Boy, one of your hosts, and we're gonna jump right in.
I am so excited to be casting these games today. We are back.
All right, so we're getting ready. It's been a really great day so far. There's a lot to get through. We want to talk to... What?
I have to show you something.
Okay, all right.
I found a slipstream.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Squints.
Yeah?
So you're the in-game producer.
Yep.
But is there more we need to know about in-game observing?
I believe so, and you should go talk to Andy about that, Zeke.
Hey, what's up guys? My name's Andy. I'm the in-game director for the Fortnite World Cup qualifiers. So whenever we get into game, I take over from Joe, our broadcast director, and start cutting between all of our observers. I work with a team of 2 observers as well as a game producer, Squints, and the observer director in order to try and cut the best show possible. So basically all of our observers are getting the best content during these games, and I'm sort of the one who's deciding which one goes live on air. None of this is possible by myself. So I got a lot of help from my game producer as well as my observer director.
Hey guys, I'm Jeff Rose. I am the observer director, so I work with every observer individually, make sure they get the greatest shots, the greatest stories, so that when we go to Andy and he goes and cuts the show, he makes sure that you guys are seeing the best quality content that you can.
Check out the next block of NA West. Let's see what we have in store.
Aiden had some great plays. If he is able to carry the momentum over into this one.
Are you guys curious to see how audio works for the broadcast? Let's go meet up with John.
Hi, I'm John. I'm the audio mixer, or A1, on Fortnite. Welcome, Fortnite fam, to the audio booth. This is the audio board. All the audio that you hear goes through my hands. This is all of our wireless microphones for all of our talent. And then right here are all of our in-ear monitors, or IFBs, so that I can talk to talent. Like, usually it's something like, hey, Zeke, turn on your mic. And then they turn on their mics. I think Zeke should have heard that right now. Did you hear that? Nice. Also, I have a window.
All done! Yay!
Day 1's done!
What are you talking about? World Cup finals over, guys, okay? I won everything.
Guys, I just want to let you know, my favorite person in the world is in this room.
Wow.
Which one do you think it is?
It's not me.
I'm happy to tell you.
It's not me.
It's actually Kitty Plays! Boom! Right there! You know, it's not easy making this look good. Let's go meet up with Monique, the makeup artist, to see how she gets all this done.
No, I don't like that guy, Zeke. He's such a... Oh, hey! Hi, I'm Mo. I'm the makeup artist. I'm the one that makes these nerds look beautiful. Oh, Zeke. Sorry, let me just reel.
There's 2 people that don't get nearly enough love. They are the people who operate the cameras, and I'm going to introduce you to them right now. That's Allison! That's Mahoney! That's Mo!
Hi!
Touched on right there is when he gets knocked out with that RPG, instantly rips. Oh my goodness, that was
North, you know, setting up their cottage, setting up their homes.
take 5, and 5 minute game!
Ready off 5, ready off 6, take off 6.
Keep on 1!
Ready off 3, take off 3. Ready off 10, take off 10. Take off 5, take off 6. Take off 6.
And cut. Keep up the good work, dude.
Are we gonna do a Fortnite? Wait, come on. Let's do a pookie. Let's do a pookie at 3. 1, 2, 3.
We have a post-show pinata.
Get it right now, Zeke.
I'm
right camera. Hit Zeke in the face.
We've seen 8 weeks of amazing Fortnite Battle Royale action. Players from all around the globe have battled it out, and some have been able to already book their ticket to New York City to compete
in the Fortnite World Cup final in front of thousands of live fans. $8 million has already been given away, and now we're coming down to the wire. Week 9 is the final opportunity for competitors to try and qualify for the solos competition. Who will join the likes of Dubs, Stompy, Tfue, and X2 Jordan on the stage in New York City? Who will be able to clutch up in their final moments, in their last fights, to earn one of the final 19 spots? And with the last 2 weeks on the horizon, we are increasing the weekly prize pool to $2 million. So, get on the battle bus and drop in. This is your last chance to name yourself among the best of the best and to build your way to a spot at the Fortnite World Cup final. What are you waiting for? The battle is building and you don't want to miss out.
What is going on, Fortnite fam? Welcome back to week 9 of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open Qualifiers. It's week 9, the final opportunity for these players to punch a ticket for the solo competition. This is it. It all comes down to the wire. Now, of course, guys, in case you have just been tuned in, maybe you haven't been here, maybe it's your first time, let's get you guys up to speed. And of course, refresh your memory. You know how the schedule goes. Oceania, Asia, Europe, have all concluded. Brazil's still going on, still wrapping up. And of course, now we're hopping into NA East, and then later on, we'll wrap the day up with NA West. Now, the format, because it is solos, top 25, top 15, top 5, and the Victory Royale are all the placement thresholds. Every single elimination is 1 point. Now, don't forget, guys, the prize pool for week 9 and week 10 have been doubled. This is insane. Now, of course, money is fantastic, but those coveted qualifying spots, that's what these players are after. 8 in Europe, 6 in NA East, 2 in West, 1 in Asia, Brazil, and Oceania. Now that we're hopping into East, there is 6 total spots on the line for these players. Again, it is the last possible opportunity for these players to punch their tickets to the finals in New York City. 19 players will be joining us when the day is said and done. Now, of course, we're hanging out with Sundown. Let's take a look at the standings heading into NA East. I'm curious to see how things are shaking out for these players, especially after yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an incredible round of matches so far. We've seen our finals and our semifinals be incredibly close from top to bottom. Again, in Europe, 15 points separating 8th from 100th place. Wow. Let's take a look here. Everyone on pretty much 3 matches, with the exception of Secrets, Vape Jesus hanging out there on to 6 points, or 7 points, excuse me. Math is a little bit hard between Outlet and Bugabot, but we have a whole bunch of Fortnite to still play. Nearly a little under 2 hours in terms of the queue times going, and I mean, we're gonna book 6 more tickets.
That's right, don't forget, guys, top 6. As Sundown likes to say, you must be this tall to ride. So if everything was said and done, these would be your top 6 players, which for Outlet, someone like 72 Macwood, this would be huge. But of course, like you said, we still have a ton of games to get through. So of course, let's hop into the action. We need 2 casters, and of course, we're bringing out the big guns. Let's get Courage JD and Dr. Lupo on deck. Gentlemen, floor is yours.
Dr. Lupo, we are here. Hello, my name is Courage JD. This is Dr. Lupo. Sorry, the camera angle makes me look a little bit shorter than him, but we're about the same height in real life. Ben, NA East, it's here. 72 hours, popped off yesterday. I said I was rooting for Mongrel in the EU. He did it. I'm rooting for 72 hours now in the US. Let's get into the games.
I was talking earlier about that exact thing, that exact person, Tom, representing NA East in a big way yesterday on the board, even in the bottom right corner of your screen right now. I'm going to jump in with Showbeans, though. 1 elimination, 7 points. Not a whole lot of ammunition in the inventory, but enough builds to make an escape. Plus, those 2 Shadow Bombs are going to be key, Jack, for these mid to late game rotations.
Showbeans right now getting set up with these assault rifle weapons. The issue with having 2 of the same weapon class with the ammo means Well, they share the ammo bed, and when you have under a clip in each, you're not really in a good spot. Thankfully, as we know, the combat shotgun with much more range than the likes of the pump when it was in the game. Can definitely get a little bit more done with it here in the late game, but now Showbeans on the run, not popping a shadow bomb as of yet, was maybe hoping to hit that launch pad, but looks like
quite
struggling to get some builds in here.
Building, honestly, probably one of the most important pieces of Fortnite Battle Royale. It is the ultimate Battle Royale experience, Jack, as they say. Make a movement here, landing inside the same box. KGG gets the GG back to the lobby. Showbeans picking up a second elim, a lot of materials, and enough ammunition for multiple magazines. Finds another player inside. Quick edit, but decides to back out of that. Just kidding. The drop back in down to 38 HP. Took a lot of damage right there, trying to wall off from pressure from multiple sides. A tough position. Gonna have to rotate away right now. One of those shadow bombs may be the right call if more pressure comes in. It's Bucky. Cam Bam down below. Void. Shy Guy, Maximus, Frey. Slothy plays multiple players on your screen right now. And that's going to be the case pretty much throughout all of these games, especially in NA East. We mentioned earlier, I was with Sundown, we talked about Europe and how aggressive they seem to play in comparison to other regions. NA East a little slower as of recently in solos, especially with this being the final week of qualifiers for solos for the World Cup.
My
that
gosh.
is more splodes. It is, the legend has it to this day, they're still going off. Slothy burning through all the materials.
How is Slothy alive right now?
Didn't take a single point of damage.
Didn't take a single point of damage. Typically when that happens, the entire lobby begins to focus and then returns the favor onto Erupt Void with the combat shot there. Slothy, of all the outcomes right there, Dr. Lupo, that has to be the absolute best considering the circumstance.
Imagine having 15 dynamite thrown at you, not taking a single point, and then quickly one-tapping a player on the rotation after you rebuild. Now look at this. Slothy sees a player through the transparency of the metal wall going up. That's the storm side too, so there's a chance maybe to wait. Doesn't decide to do it. Jumps out there into the rift to go. Yet that other player may follow through behind. We're at 36, 35 players remaining. Kotor goes down to the storm. Kingman picking up J-Mac in the feed as well. Sharp on your screen. Multiple players and ballers.
Remember, if you're on the ground right now, you're slipping and sliding around.
Not a fun position to be in. You have TJ, Baldy, multiple players, well-known names we've seen multiple times in the past. But you have to remember, too, that this is just the beginning of Sunday qualifiers, so everybody's kind of queued into the same pool, but as people start to push higher and higher in points, you're going to see the lobbies get more and more difficult as we go closer to the
stand out for sure.
Yep.
Here's a look at Bugabot currently in the bottom of this build. Dynamite coming into play, recognizing, well, I've got to make something happen.
Ooh,
and there's a free limb on a Maximus. Now at 8 total points. Remember, top 25 is where placement points begin to come into play. Bugabot so darn close. Ooh, builds all the way into the zone, takes a couple ticks of damage, but nothing too bad, has a med kit. And I don't mind this at all right here, Lupo. I like the fact that he's going to wind up popping this med kit and, actually stops to go and fight someone nearby, because there's really not going to be another time to be able to pop this med kit when this all goes down. Bugabot hits the community rift and will begin to float towards this zone. So look at the rest of the carnage going down. We've reached our top 20.
12 builds there, floating in from above. Talk about not sitting on a whole lot of small ammunition for that tactical AR. Baldy goes down to the storm. Bucky picking up Saw on the feed. Another elimination there for Bucky. Fly on pass doesn't have an opportunity to compete for high ground. Going to land on the ultimate low down on the floor down here, trying to get as close to the edge of the front of the storm as possible. You don't want to spend too much time trying to make your way in, especially with only 2 builds now. 1 brick, 1 metal. Gonna have to try and apply pressure, and there goes the rest of the materials. Bugabot now, the fight for his life on the ground, drops in a player immediately next to him. 2 combat shotgun shots back to back there.
But that player also had no materials. Okay,
a little bit of wood.
There we go. That'll definitely help. Bugabot making the most of a bad situation with another elimination. Now into the top 10. And still, with 13 builds left, can try to make something happen. Here's a look from the top down of exactly where everyone stacks up. Frey on height, but Frey also very, very weak. Looking to get maybe some siphon coming up here. Bugabot pushes out, decides, nope, I can't pick up that rocket right now. I've got to focus on this enemy that's nearby. Back up to 26 builds now. Bugabot in the top 5. So max placement points earned outside of winning the darn game. So definitely a solid performance up to this point. Haz with 2 from up top. There's a challenge coming on, and that is Haz, who gets cut down by Bugabot. 1 versus 1, and Frey just fell to his death because he had like 45 HP.
Eliminated by fall damage there.
That's that.
Plummeting down and kind of a anticlimactic win there. I mean, still it's a victory royale. That's 10 points right there, plus the elimination, so you got to feel good. But didn't really have to compete for the last one outside of Has falling in on top of his head there. Meanwhile, the next game over. 39 players remaining. We are in the southwest corner of the map. Going to slide on in here. A fly in from the outside is Slacky Merevs. NA East, by the way, has just under 2 hours left to play. We're a little over a third of the way through their queue time. You have to get 10 games in. You can get 10 games in, I should say. A lot of players, even ones that make it to the top 10, top 5, even first place, don't often finish all their games. There's no need to if you're getting wins and high elimination counts every single time you play for placement, that kind of thing. So you have an hour and 50 minutes left.
I think he's just staring at this guy just sitting in this box wanting to just go for it. There it is. Oh!
The shot in the air?
No, tried to make it happen. Tried to make it happen, but unfortunately can't. But either way, Merevs had the right idea. If that player doesn't have a rift, obviously that's a different story. Looks like wants to keep the pressure going, and I don't mind this at all. You know how weak this person is.
Have to.
You have to go for this. Again, we talked so much about it. If you want to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup Finals, you will not get away with just placement points. You need eliminations if you're going to do it. He gets right inside the box, and that was exactly who tried to break on out, tried to escape, but unfortunately met their demise right there inside the 1x1.
Slacky actually tried to do one of the coolest little gimmicks you can do. If you are above an opponent that has a pyramid on top of the 1x1 that they're in, you stand in the corner of it and build 2 of your own walls against that corner and then just pickaxe straight down, because your character, the character model, will drop in there and you'll phase through. If they instantly replace it, you'll phase through and fall into their box. You can keep the aggression going.
I call him Dr. Lupo for a reason right there.
Listen, I've watched enough. Let me just say this. I'll admit this openly. I have before, I'll say it again. I'm not the best player, Jack.
We know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, there's a reason you're standing by my side right now, by the way. In comparison, we're trash. But we've watched enough and can understand the mechanics behind the game.
Absolutely.
That at this level, things like that, they stand out so much, and it's that kind of gameplay. You know, there's a reason I'm hiding behind the desk, like I said.
Hey, man, it makes sense. It's great to, you know, be here casting with you, and also full peace of mind knowing that I have more skill in me than both you and your Pro-Am partner, Jordan Fisher, have in your entire bodies combined.
Best Fortnite duo ever.com.
And myself and Brendan Urie, when we win next week, are going to sing and dance on stage. And then we're going to have $1 million go to our charity of choice. So. Tickets are actually available for the summer block party and the Pro-Am if you'd like to come take part and watch me take over. You can go to Fortnite Summer Block Party, Google, and find the link to it, because I don't know it off the top of my head. How about that for a plug?
A valid attempt there, but a little bit of a miss, just like most of your gameplay. Meanwhile, Tom, 72 hours here, 3 eliminations now. Pops the slurp to prevent anybody else at that point from using it. Picks up a mini. I'm a little curious why he picked up 1 mini over keeping the slurp.
Sometimes in these late game moments, some panic can set in. You might not realize, you might not be able to get the chance. You might think, oh, that's 6 minis, right? And it's only 1. So right now, 72 hours, just trying to stay alive. Played out of his mind yesterday. A fantastic day, but as we know, Saturday doesn't always transfer over to Sunday. 72 hours spraying with this infantry rifle close range. Oh, doesn't get that a limb. Does stay in the zone, doesn't get that a limb either. There you go.
Found one.
Okay, they do drop, but he kind of tunnel visioned here, Lupo. He kind of tunnel visioned here,
way
Lupo.
Outside in the storm, pushing his way in. Is he going to make it or not? We'll have to see. Just barely 10 HP remaining. The Shadow Bomb to continue pushing on through to the opposite side of the safe zone. Almost lost it there. 90 HP to the zone is not ideal. Wishes he had that slurp, I'm sure, at this point, hoping he can find some way to get this back. Frantically building his way to the top, trying to build up inside the safe zone, stay at the forefront of the storm. 12 players left. We're very close.
Yep.
Got to make it to the top 5 to pick up the last 2 points before the victory royale is the only way for placement to matter anymore. Player directly above him. J Storm Painful looking down. Maybe an opportunity for Tom. He's going to see it. Releases the edit wall and builds forward. Doesn't want to engage just yet. A little bit of fall in there. No fall damage.
I thought that was going to be it right there.
Very close. 8 players left. J-Storm picking up another Elim.
Oh.
Threats finds him inside a box. 72 hours goes down just outside the top 5.
And if you're
threats,
right there, that's it's an easy decision. You see someone inside trying to chug a big shield in time. You've got a heavy sniper. You know the player's got to be weak. That is a no-brainer type shot. Nicely recognized by threats. You see it on the left side of your screen. Actually does get eliminated right there. So did make it right on the edge of top 5. Not sure if they wound up earning those other placement points. And it looks like he'd wind up. He did. So we are now in our top 3, though. Top right of your screen, Rocardini. Bottom right, Beggs. And then you see on the low ground, Slacky Merevs, too, who's very, very weak. The Stink is brilliant from up top. Stinks this late in the game are just so deadly. Merevs going to drop to that. He smelt it and dealt it. Another Stink comes in. Beggs getting chunked by this now. Even more Stink still in the inventory. Oh, this is just beautiful. Rocardini recognizing that it's best to hold on to those to the extreme late game, and now basically has a free win right in front of themselves with this one. Yeah, that doesn't get much easier. Well-placed Stinks, and the patience to hold on to them, Dr. Lupo, pays off in dividends.
You see an opportunity late game like that, players fighting it out below you. No reason to not just drop that guy on in there and see if you can deal it while they're forced to smell it, Jack. You hate to see that. Eliminations like that, I mean, sorry, name on the screen threw me off for a second. See if you spot it at some point. 43 players left. Anyway, eliminations like that, you got to feel good about it too, because it's almost low effort because you have players that you're not putting yourself in line of sight. You're just dropping the zone damage down below. Yep. Letting them fight it out inside. NA East with 1 hour and 44 minutes left.
As you saw, one of the most incredible gamers out there, Yogurt Fart, in this lobby.
I think we're 14, Jack. I think honestly, sometimes our maturity level shows.
Like for real. Like, can
Epic,
we just address this for a second?
From the bottom of my heart, Epic, please.
This is nothing to do. Epic,
I'm sorry.
This needs to be discussed. How do you decide your name's gonna be Yogurt Fart? Like where does it come in? Don't you want to everyone else out there is TTV? They want to get their clout up, and then I'm just like, hey, yeah, add my Epic. My name's Yogurt Fart.
I think we've lost Jack, everybody. My deepest apologies. Fernando beaming Yeti out of the sky in the rotation in. Second elimination. 19 points total. Down below, Yogurt Fart still crawling around underneath. Jack trying his hardest to hold it together.
Yo play or Dannon?
Jack?
It's right now, Fernando is keeping the high ground at the moment. Trying to make sure no one can push towards this backside of the zone.
Production not helping with this joke at all in the slightest. Confirmed that it's Danimals in our ears. Jack still trying his hardest.
We're good.
Sincerely, my deepest apologies.
DMO. I actually saw an interview with DMO as.
Come on.
It's right now. Fortunately, he used that hashtag. Fortnite World Cup, and send us interesting names you've seen.
Yes, please.
That you've faced.
Got to get screenshots of them if possible. Got to have proof.
Got to have proof, please.
Screenshotter didn't happen.
Fernando's still up top, just sitting pretty, and it doesn't get much easier than that. Garrido does get cut down. Fernando, launch pad, 4 shadow bombs. Realistically, weapon-wise, really hoping this legendary assault rifle can pull him through, because
listen,
only other thing he has is a common tactical shotgun.
I've said it before, Jack, I'll say it again. The gray tac is the best weapon in the game.
Okay.
Prove me wrong. You can.
Okay. I'll let you say that.
It's never been proved.
That was Dr. Lupo who said it, Reddit, not me.
Smile.
Just to be clear.
You really gotta point those at me, Jack?
Point that finger.
Reddit, you look wonderful today. Please be gentle. Saw on the feed, picking up another elimination. So he got his bad, not necessarily the worst. Picking up an Elim, we're down to the top 30. Fernando getting Sir Wings on rotation. So he got another elimination. 29 remaining, this shadow bomb to push all the way forward. These players trying their hardest to earn a spot in those 6 positions for NA East.
Only 6 spots, remember, of these 3,000 players, only 6 will make it. Fernando using that tactical shotgun. Does get one. Is there a combat on the ground anywhere? Just an upgraded tack. I think that's what they'll have to settle with. Pressure now moving forward. You see Bugga on your screen. Ball giving Bugga a major praise the other day as Fernando unfortunately keeps clipping the edge of that build. Not able to make it into zone without taking a couple ticks. Does have a campfire though, but it's a double-edged sword using a campfire this late in the game, Dr. Lupo. It's like a, hey, I'm weak, come attack.
This is the box to shoot at, please.
Yes.
I encourage it. But on top of that, you're also going to be missing HP, in this case shield as well. Pick up on the elim there, and the Storm's going to keep pushing Fernando.
Wow,
for a second.
gets both
Has the
popped.
time. No damage either from the Storm.
And that's great composure right there, because to be honest, I was thinking it wasn't going to happen. As Go CMO actually goes down in your engagement feed, we're in our top 7 right now. Opportunity to break on through. Bugga on your screen, KNG unknown, fighting for the high ground still. TSM Cloud in this game as well.
Kai on the ultimate high ground up above as the remainder of the lobby is forced into the same maybe 2 or 3 boxes vertically. The rift to go puts a player all the way up top, 2 players all the way up top. Bar getting beamed from underneath, just a little bit of damage, but enough to apply pressure and make him plummet to the ground. You'll see another rift, 3 players up. You hear the combat shotgun shot in midair. Somebody going for a big play if they can pull it off. Can't quite yet though. Bar landing. Gonna waterfall down and layer up. Basically 3 or 4 floors up off the ground. We're in the top 7.
It's a lot of mats used right there.
We got 2 players left need to go down before those final placement points, and every point matters as we've talked about in these placements. Quick edit to check for a shot. Nope, looks down below, applying pressure with the grenades. Excellent grenade play there. Finds Cloud from TSM, hiding on the ultimate low ground. Picks up that elim, putting the top 4 now. Bar dropping down, applying pressure. Another grenade, very close, very risky, and shots from above. That might cost him. We'll see here.
All the
no builds left. The quick edit, the shot through finds Fernando. 1v1 situation, a top down, the combat shots from above. Kai picks up the last elimination from the ultimate high ground to the victory royale. Well played.
No builds or not, you are just never going to win a fight 1v1 with attack versus combat right there. Just not going to happen. It's just a better weapon in the hands of his opponent. The combat shotgun shows off just how darn good it is right there. As we head to our next game, up top you've got Class. You saw Chap flying by. Class, I believe the newest signing for 100 Thieves. Currently set on up on the ultimate high ground. There's the Q check again, 1 hour and 38 minutes left.
Class looking around from above. No reason to burn too many materials. Checking down from the top. Anybody on rotation? He's at the back of the Storm, by the way. Kind of an interesting position, which means somewhere in that inventory, I bet you there's a rift to go or a launch pad.
Yes.
Not needing to move too early. I mean, he's got 5 seconds now. I'm going to start to make the move.
And
there's launch pad.
Actually hit his head, but it seems like that was on purpose.
That was intentional.
Yeah.
The horizontal movement, if you bounce off one of those ramps 2 blocks up, you get shot out like a rocket, essentially, and you can fly across the map. Less chances for people to shoot you out of midair.
200 IQ play from Class right there. Currently set up. He's got the combat shotgun in hand. As we know, sometimes the inventory doesn't load for the players when we hop on into a new lobby. So, Class definitely has more than just a rare assault rifle. Can promise you that. 1 player just above, looking to put some pressure on, and doesn't
a little bit
much
of pressure.
easier than that.
A little bit of pressure.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
There they go.
Elimination in there. 39 players left. 3 elims right now for Class. Eclipse, his duo may potentially be in here. Those players qualified already. Chap, Macwood, Complexity
in our top 10.
The box.
In our top 10 last time we checked the leaderboards.
Indeed.
And is in a great position to rack up points right here.
As with every grenade, when there's 1, there's 50. Finds the elim on the outside. There's 3 now, 30 points.
It's like chips. It's like potato chips. Like you can't
just eat one. You
can't just shoot 1 grenade.
Show me a person that's eaten 1 chip and then stopped. Yeah, right.
Look at the size of me. I haven't.
The legend has it you're still eating chips to this day. Sorry, Jack. Sorry to expose you.
No, you don't have to. I had some delicious ones earlier. Cheddar cheese, Pringle action. Excellent. Macwood spraying, frantically trying to find some sort of damage to put down range. Every point matters. Every elimination matters. A heavy snipe nearly exposes Macwood, but a quick reaction time does stop it. And actually surprised, Macwood is taking a ton of damage.
He could have for a second opted to take shots, but I feel like that player right there, literally the one he's jumping past right now, there were multiple that had line of sight on the box.
Great movement though. Great movement.
Big jump.
Hitting that last ball, getting as far as possible. We'll have time to pop both of these minis, which I expect, okay, only using one, it appears. Wants to save as much of these as possible.
Kind of surprising because we're going into the late game here. He's
Fell.
way
There you
above
go.
the damage threshold. Hey, look, 191 now, no big deal. Looking for shots on the follow-through. The second, maybe a back-to-back. Swap to the combat shotgun. Look at the right side here in just a second. Building up above and finds Das on the rotation up. 5 elims at 32 points. We're in the top 30. Another one of these opportunities.
Look at
Macwood
this
showing
map.
just how versatile those shadow bombs are climbing the mountain.
My goodness, this is a tough zone rotation. And it's going right back, actually. Looks like through where we just were. You see Tilt as well in this game. All the way on the high ground is Thunder. So they're beaming on down, back over to Class, who's currently set on up, kind of towards the higher point of this build. Has made it into the top 25, so more points will be earned.
Pushing on through to the next section here. Just kind of tunneling forward. One of the most important skills for rotation.
Nick A30 was literally talking about it earlier, saying how before
huge.
Before he started to stream, he was in Playground. He was trying to get better at tunneling on uneven ground, like when you need to go up or down or whatever.
It's important too to know when you need to cover all your angles, every side, or just one side or two sides, depending on how you're moving and where you're moving. If you're at the edge of the zone, you don't necessarily have to cover your back if you know that that side's been empty for a while. Or if you're moving across the middle and you want to save materials, maybe a single floor and a ramp, turn rotated, or like you do a jump rotation and quickly place it to end up underneath so you don't use as many materials. By the way, catching a player, specs, immediately placing the launch, jumping off of it.
And what's big is, of everything that just dropped, the one thing Class is able to pick up is 280 brick.
Feels good.
Basically the best thing you could ask for.
Material's so important late game. We're in the top 15 now. Class looking at 20 points, looking for the 21st here in a second. Shot, going for the replace, gets the first layer, going for the replace, gets the second, doesn't quite get the second layer. A little bit of a mis-edit in there too, placing the triangle down. Tons of players up above, one landing directly above, immediately it does the edit to get it to fall through. The player drops down, gets a 124 on the combat, and it's Thunder who goes down, pays the price for the second shot. Very, very good mechanic skill there from Class. A lot of practice goes into moves like that.
Yep, as you hear the rift go off, someone will be contesting for height. Sen Karos did just go down. It's Percently who's all the way up top, and Class catches him off guard.
Oh.
Percently went to look up at the rifter, and Class just jumped behind. And that is a game-changing moment, Dr. Lupo, as Class not only eliminates Percently, but refocuses his attention onto the player. Rifting high ground is now his, and he's up to his highest amount of material so far in this late game.
Pressure applied on Eclipse, who's basically in the second level there. You've got Lazar and Fox down to the bottom. Shots coming out from Class, moving forward in the stink a little bit on the backside, but no big deal. Eclipse stuck inside a stink of his own. Lazar and Fox in the ultimate low, fighting it out while still getting shot at from above. 3 builds in Fox's inventory, and Class is sitting on 63. Very important to note that, because that means Class could waterfall down and apply pressure at any time. He also has a chance to wall off and heal off from above, and Fox is going to have to take shots. Eclipse goes down. Fox is basically nothing left. Class, a little bit of fall damage. There we go. The builds leading into the campfires for the HP. Fox sliding it on the hill, stuck outside the storm. Class doesn't have to push, but he doesn't know that. Wait for the last second. Shot from above and finds the victory royale. 8 eliminations.
That was not pretty.
18 points.
That was not pretty right there, but that's where we have it. A good victory royale. 400 Thieves. Class, 8 eliminations. The win, 18-point game. Zeke and Sundown with our updates.
Thank you guys so much, man. Do I love Fortnite? The answer is yes, of course. Who doesn't? Now, guys, of course, we're here in NA East. Excuse me, I almost said West. I don't know why I did that. NA East here, knee-deep in the game. Sundown, we've seen some incredible games so far. Let's take a moment here, slow things down, meet up with Sundown. We'll take a look at some of the awesome clips he's got. We'll take a look at the updated standings, and then go from there.
Right, so first we're going to hop on board here with Bugabot. A great individual effort from him on the low ground here. Note, right before that elim, he had 0 builds, now up to 20. But one thing I want you to keep an eye on is his mentality to shoot first in these situations. It might be because he's lower on the builds, but note how he's looking to walk out and take
fights. He's not looking to build himself back out. He wants his shots first, which ends up being huge if you're in a position where you can aggress, picking up Has right there and then able to run it out and get the victory route, just outlasting from 0 builds to a VR. Well done from Bugabot. Now, the Titan of the East, we've talked about it. Players who haven't qualified 72 hours. Tom is on that, and just watch this little bit of a tricksy rotation here. Ends up directly in this player box on the backside of a Mike, can go back to lobby. Boxes himself up, puts the trap down. Nice little defense there. Now, rather unfortunate here that he didn't end up with 2 elims, but the tag and the baller does still pick up Testy, so well done there from 72 hours. We've seen a lot of Fernando as well. Now watch him go to work. That was his first elim, but look at what he gets from all of that. Gets high ground control, the legendary AR, and zone priority position. Because he's on this side and players are forced to rotate into him, he's going to be able to use the rifle. Saw him pick up one there, picks another player off of the jump pad. That feels awful if you're Oscarito, and we've seen him have an affinity a number of times for getting picked up off of those jump pads. So maybe grab a shadow bomb or a ball and rotate along the ground as Fernando keeps putting in work there, getting the storm tick over onto Sir Wings. And look, that's the one thing that we stress about these players. It's the action after their immediate action. You don't slow down. You can't stop right after you pick something else up because somebody else is there. Picks up the elim onto Quasi, boxes himself up, and then pushes forward. And he's been doing this entire run while he's being contested. It's not like he's avoiding these fights. He's going and he's looking for them, but he's prepared to take them with that shoot first mentality. Very well done from Fernando there, but let's check out those standings right now. The previous qualifier on top, Misfits Clicks. Let's look at the spread, 40 points down to 30, so just 10 points separating first and 10th, and 6 spots up for grabs. Zeke's with Clicks already having qualified, it would drop down to the 7th spot, and all of these guys are right on top of each other.
Yeah, I mean, you look at like someone like Smacked and Fernando, they have the 3 games played, and they're at the 30 points. Someone like Clicks, who's at the top, has 5 with 40 points. So they have like more room to work with, more throwaway games, I guess, but the point spread is still pretty tight. Don't forget, top 6 will be moving on to finals, so there's still plenty of time. I still feel like this is anyone's game. It just takes one incredible standout game to just rocket up on the leaderboard, you know?
It's absolutely anybody's game. We talk about kind of a reasonable pop-off. A 5 elim victory route is 15 points, or 8 elims, and in the top 5 is 15 points. Any of those is a realistic final game, and we're right around that halfway mark, and with less than 15 points separating the top 10, anybody will be able to jump up on the page, and that's what Fortnite is all about.
Well, let's not hold off any longer, Fortnite fam. Let's just get right back into the action. So for now, let's send it back over to Courage and Dr. Lupo for more Fortnite.
Ooh-wee, the standings are getting juicy. Some would call them soggy as we move into our next game here.
Speaking of soggy, Jack, on your screen, Liquid Vivid.
And Loot Lake.
A player that's already qualified.
Yes.
Qualified week 1. You gotta love that. An opportunity, though, for Vivid to practice his mechanics, keep his game stepped up to the top. Hopefully push up and maybe pick up, gotta remember, a little bit of prize money too on the line here, plus it's doubled. $2 million for the entire weekend is insane.
Absolutely wild.
Gives me chills, Jack.
$2 million every week for these last couple weeks is nuts. That's like, you've been around in competitive gaming for a long time. That is like entire life cycles of games prize money. And now it's these 2 weeks. Don't even get me started on the Fortnite World Cup Finals. That is going to be the spectacle to watch this summer. You will want to be tuned in for that. Later on this summer, in the end of July, you see Hogman continuing to pop up in the elimination feed. Vivid throwing these grenades, and on these awkward to build surfaces, like in the water, it is so tough to dodge them. And you see right there how it winds up working out.
Ditch here at Loot Lake. Multiple players trying to make their way in. 38 left. Vivid starting to tunnel forward. Shots from the backside. He's going to wait. Last second, it looked like he was waiting for one more shot from that opponent's AR before he took the combat shotty shot. Couldn't quite get it. For a read here, going to take ownership of the wall, sees the baller through, and going to apply pressure, taking shots there. It actually is Hogman with the baller inside that brick box in the bottom, Loon up top. Premium moving forward up above too, the next level up. Shots underneath the corner edit there. Vivid's going to have to replace the wall with a new one. Maybe a chance to pop that full shield if he decides it's the right call, which at this point it might be, unless someone nearby is very, very weak. Vivid going to go for the full shield. this point, waiting. You have 18 seconds until the circle starts to close, which means you don't have to move just yet if you're trying to wait, especially if you have a rift in your inventory, a launch pad, anything like that. You can take a second and take shots before movement's required. I believe that's exactly what's going on here. Yep. It's going to rotate on through. Look from underneath, and there is a pyramid separating them now. No chance here. You hear the shadow bomb go off. Vivid might try and track this one down. 54 on the shield on rotation. No chance just yet. A player directly above. He's going to build up and try and match height. Shot from the backside. 32-21. Shield still on that player, and another one rotates in front. It's Navy Rob who goes down to a quick combat shotgun shot.
I actually can't believe Vivid's not being sprayed at more.
Barely even challenged.
Yeah.
Player down to his bottom right. Loot Lake keeping people on their toes. A player right inside finds Loon in the box. Follow up the back-to-back. Two shots. Hogman goes down. A very, very competitive player. That's a big elimination. Less of a challenge now to reach that #1 spot this game. Vivid moving forward. Another wounded player on the outside. The baller flies past. Vivid building up. 18 points, 4 elims, and 66 builds. Ammunition not too bad. Loadout not too bad. A player directly underneath. Vivid still making moves non-stop. This is why he qualified week 1. You're looking for a player to watch. This is definitely one high on the list, Jack.
Yeah, he is someone that I think a lot of people always expected to do well and qualify, but the surprising thing for others is that he's the only one of the Liquid boys who has, right? And Vivid has been a absolute beast in solos for as long as he's competed in Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
And right now showing what he can do here. Down to 19 health, though. It looks like the end might be near.
You look back at previous skirmish events, he was routinely taking home first place, second place, third place, repeat.
Oh, there he goes.
Untamed, catch him on the outside, goes down, 70 players left. Couldn't quite squeak out the top 15 for placement points. If you remember, it's top 25 for 3, top 15 gets you another 2 at 5. Top 5 gets you 2 more to 7, and the Victory Royale is 10. Reminding everybody, if you're just tuning in, there's your scoring setup. Clicks finding another element. You have to remember, too, Clicks right now top of the board. Finds Surge Kurt on the outside, rotating forward with the shadow bombs. What a versatile item right now for movement. One of the best in the game. If you're looking for a chance to stay safe, I say pick up a shadow bomb or 2 and make those rotations at the right time.
Yeah, and right now, Clicks. No!
Gets himself.
Boogie bombs himself with this one.
Not a huge deal if that player gets picked by somebody on the move.
Thankfully, no one else came down and got involved.
They're sitting in a bush, back in the baller. No chance there. Kind of just a fresh reset for everybody involved in that one. Clicks taking a shot from the back. 60 shield gone now. He's going to try and climb the hill. This could be big if he can hold on to this for the entire time while this storm's still circling. Bouncing off all these surfaces, lands all the way up top. He's in a box with another player. It's Nut. Goes down in the box. Blue walling off. Clicks now down to 10 shield. 10 players left. Building up. The assault for high ground so important right now. 1 launch pad is heard. Clicks takes a chance to pop a mini. Keep building that tarp forward. May have to reconnect here in a second, depending on how much pressure he feels like he's going to get. Players dropping in. It's funny, even a 9 damage combat shotgun shot is enough to force a player to drop in there. Underkill goes down.
It's because you know there's more shots coming in.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, wait, if he's already hitting me now, just wait until I'm lower like this. It could be even worse. Clicks, still with 100 builds, showing off why he is one of the most consistent solo players in the NA East region. The Boogie comes in, doesn't actually connect with anybody, but this is as textbook as it can get. You're just keeping the high ground, making sure that if you get dropped down, you won't take any fall damage, let everyone else get scrappy and fight. You just get your placement points, get your last couple of limbs, and you're good. At this point, this is Clicks playing this like he's at the World Cup finals.
100%.
Just practicing. The more the merrier. Keeping the height, not doing anything crazy.
Plenty of build left. Sitting on 60 plus. Let the other 2 fight it out.
They're
maybe
fighting.
Take a shot. Premium. The last one on the low ground. 1v1 Clicks. Just going to knock the floor out. Taking shots from above. Quick little corner edit and reset. Look at the speed of that. Look at the speed of that. He's double layering brick, puts the floor down, just the one surface, edits the corner, takes a shot, resets, and builds the pyramid.
That was...
Well, just let Premium take out the
scary easy for Clicks. I mean, scary easy.
You want to know why he's the top, Jack? That's why he's the top right now.
That's it right there. I mean, we see other players in a position like that where they've let it get close. Clicks knew exactly how to play that through and through. Barely took a lick of damage and wins the game. Another victory royale there. Someone on your screen, you see TSM Vinny, a name that in previous skirmish times popped off. has pretty much, for me at least, had a pretty quiet Fortnite World Cup so far.
Gone quiet through the World Cup thus far. I'd love to see a big game from Vinny. His duo Zexro as well, another one that's been kind of low-key so far. A lot of players, though, rotating through here. We're at the 50-50 circle in 12 seconds. That means anybody left in Neo Tilted is going to have to make a move, and you've got people like Vinny boxed up, a good chance to take third-party shots. I am curious why he just took a great tack shot through a window at probably 100 meters. Not sure. Not sure.
Which weapon you have right there.
don't think that was the desired play. No. A little bit of stumble.
Vinny trying to set up for this drop that's coming on in and decides to actually look up and begin to shoot it. Remember, the health of the drop actually depends on the mode you're in. So in solos, it's only got 250 HP. So that's not too bad of a thing to have to shoot on down. And, well, even if he doesn't get the crate,
feels like he got a crate.
Feels like he did. The legendary combat shotgun. What an upgrade there from the common tack.
Caught that player in the rotation in. Is actually still going to get the box. Looks like unchallenged. Big bucks, no whammies.
My
Finds
goodness.
A legendary AR, a big upgrade across the board there, and he's got a full shield in the box as well. Got to hold on to the minis and the slurp. Probably the best call right now since it's most likely only one full. See here in a second, quick little reset on the wall. He's looking for anybody that might be peeking, anybody that might be making a move, chances to take a shot, and he does have a backup in terms of shield in there. Cowboy, the top right corner of your screen as well. Vinny, the stinks, still getting ticks, sees the player potentially rotating out. Can he track that? Doesn't
he's just,
quite see it.
He's just getting rid of him.
Think he's chucking them away.
He's throwing them away so he can pick back up either the minis or the mini or the full.
Yep.
And looks like we'll decide to go for 5 minis in the slurp, which I think is the right play.
Yep.
Makes sense there. Get some damage down. If there's somehow a storm surge that comes in, that might be the difference between being above or below. I like the play. Say I like the play.
If it's going to happen for storm surge, it'll be at the end of this circle. You actually see that this is interesting because the way that we're watching these games, that marker right there, whichever person we pulled this from, that's them marking the edge of the next circle.
Yes.
That's actually a pretty interesting tip for anybody that's watching from home if you're trying to elevate your play. A lot of positioning knowledge will come from knowing when or when not you need to continue rotating in.
Yeah.
If you use the mini map to mark, just put the little marker down, the closest portion of the next safe zone. You know when you've made it in without having to check the mini map to see if you're past it or not. It's very, very, very important to know when you're safe and when you aren't.
Absolutely, in duos especially. Your duo's still alive, you're dead. You got to do things like that. Help, give them the best chance possible. Nico hits the ceiling above and actually drops a player right into his box. So basically gets a free elimination right there as the player was not expecting it. And with that, we'll actually move into our top 25. 3 more placement points earned. Shadow Bomb being used, and the quick movement up this slight little hill begins. As you see, 72 hours on your screen, alive right now inside of a baller. He was in our top 10 earlier on. Now no longer the case the last time we got a leaderboards update.
Blue T in here as well. We're going to jump in with Nico live. 4 eliminations, 137 builds, a really good loadout, and Loom not doing too well on the bottom there. There was an RPG, doesn't opt to pick it up. Could have potentially swapped out the AR or the TAC AR for that. Doesn't do so, though. No big deal. 19 points now. Catches a player inside the same box, maybe one box over at this point with rotation. Moving forward, no time to waste here. You don't want to be stuck at the edge of the safe zone as a baller actually swings through and opens everything up. Nico forced to rebox very quickly, burning through the materials down to 32 metal. Keo from Cloud9, the very bottom of your screen.
Look at 72 hours on height right now.
Liquid 72 hours, top of the screen there. Cole as well. Blue T, Jojo.
Cole's breaking him out. Cole's doing everything he can to break him out. And 72 hours having to deal with that. He just wants to begin to fire down on everyone, but can't get a chance right now. Here's Kaizui. Again, one of the younger players on 100 Thieves. 78 total health, but a ton of ammo, so get some health back and maybe some mats. He's definitely can spray for days.
Kaizui, player rotating behind through the storm for just a second. One drops in, the heavy snipe does apply pressure. Kaizui goes down, it's Blue T from above. Oh my gosh, it looks like they traded inside the box, the trap and the shot. A quick swap there, both players going down at the same time. Meanwhile, all the way in the ultimate high ground for just a second there, we're in the top 15, but 72 hours from Team Liquid still in it. Blasian goes down. Jojo still in this as well, 10-bit just inside with a barely alive baller as Nico the forefront of the storm. He's got a baller in the box immediately next to. Wouldn't be surprised if there was pressure.
Give me a, yeah, I can tell. Whoa, all pulled into the rift, 3 of them.
3 players all the way in the sky, 9 remaining.
And they'll gladly float this one out. Look at all the destruction going on down low.
Just wait it out.
There goes 72 hours. Did get dropped on down.
It's like it went out 8th. Doesn't quite get the 7 points for a top 5. Shatang gonna drop past Deity with the ultimate high ground. Keo in the mid tarp. Pyrovoil flying all the way past. Got players still stuck in the bottom. Jojo, the ultimate low ground. Shatang finds Keo inside a box. Nico and Deity fighting for the ultimate high ground. Ranch forced down a little bit too. We're in the top 5. Placement points going out for everybody. 7 now.
Nico's so high up there right now.
In the sky.
Does Nico, the question is Nico have anything to wind up dropping down with? From our perspective, from what we can tell a spectator, no, but
that middle
with it going up the hill, should now be all right. But look at how weak all these players are down low. The storm doing so much damage, and Nico more than happy to just keep building on up, keep playing this distance. Shatang gets 2, so winds up getting a lot of HP, but spraying, and it's all for naught. Nico just sits up there and basically idly wins that game. Pretty easy. When you got the high ground like that, building in brick, there's no chance of him getting shot down at all. And what I'm loving to see here, Ben, is this players doing a good job of calculating when they're on height, if they need to challenge or not. That's like 2 or 3 games in a row now where the person on height has just sat up there, let the storm do its job, as long as you tag them once.
In the last 60 seconds,
last 60 seconds.
Crazy.
Get a little tag on them, and then let the ultimate enemy, the zone, do its job for you. 1 hour and 15 minutes left in the queues until NA East solo qualifiers for the Fortnite World Cup Finals are over.
You're trying to get your 10 matches in. Now's the time to do it. 44 players left. Speaking of those 10 matches in this match, Attack AR, the blue combat shotgun, minis, shadow bombs, sitting on the edge of the zone. John, no need to apply too much pressure, doesn't have to move, just kind of wait it out. Take third-party shots, get those quick window edit resets and hold this one watching through on that ramp using the little holes in the brick structure underneath of his opponent. Gonna start making a move here. Goes for the window replace. It's the wall replace. It's not even challenged. Here we go. This player might not have audio. Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening.
Yeah, that's just, again, when you're not just like in a 1-by-1, when there's more behind you, sometimes it catch you off guard. As that's what happens right there. FaZe Dubs actually in this lobby, and
Didn't you say?
Said FaZe Dubs.
You go on records as saying FaZe Dubs is the best solo player in the world
as of right now.
Interesting.
With technically with the placings we've got, there has been no person more consistent currently. What's he had, like 1st, 3rd, 6th, 2nd or something?
Nope, no person more consistent. Okay, I have to ask, have you not been watching Tim's stream? Consistently fall damage.
That is true. Consistently bad.
We're talking about consistency,
yeah.
Jack. Really, you're gonna?
Yep.
Sorry, Tim. I'm trying to defend you here, bud.
It's all right. I'm sure he's really upset right now with his hand tats.
Listen, he's tough and you can't handle it.
I can't wait to see Tim this week. I'm going to give him a big hug.
Right in the feed, picking up an Elam. Flo taking one out as well in the top 35. Zycoma and Baldy right next to each other here. A little back and forth. You see them both actually facing each other. And just quick edit resets for transparency on the walls.
You're like, you good? You good?
You gonna move?
You good?
You gonna make a move? I'm just gonna wait. You gonna move? I'm not going yet. You going?
It's the game of chicken right now as Baldy keeps editing, looking for any opportunity to rain down fire from up above.
Who gives into the pressure first, right? And puts himself out in the open.
Wondering if the rift gets used here or Baldy just says.
He's high enough up, he doesn't necessarily have to, but I'm going to say because he's waiting here, I think you might be right. He's just looking back and taking shots, thinking, I'm just going to use the rift when it's time. There we go. There's a reason for it, too. One Elim looking for the second. Baldy, the storm right there, the swap, and falling down. I believe I heard it.
He rifted. He did. Here's Dubs. It doesn't get much easier than that. The player with 17 HP gets cut down, and Dubs will go follow this up right away. Look for any materials possible. This baller trying to snake them all.
Just a little bit.
There you go. Now Dubs has made it on and says, no. This is mine. This is mine. And whoa, 3 big shields, 6 minis. Oh,
gosh. That's a yikes.
Okay, Dubs, not in a fun time right now. Remember, when you're in the shadow form, you cannot edit. You cannot make any plays like that. So Dubs gets trapped in there and takes 80 storm damage because of it.
Very fast edits on the tunnel there, moving forward. basically not letting go of the sprint the entire time. Look at these, walling and editing a corner out every single layer, burning through materials very quickly, but
dude,
a very stable base to make a move.
It just set in how insane the Battle of Regions is going to be at the Fortnite World Cup. Like, Mongrel, Mr. Savage M are going to be repping EU that I know all of Europe's going to get behind. You've got the likes of Dubs, Tfue representing NA. I mean, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous.
The best players from every region.
Yeah.
Making their way to one stage. I'm gonna have heart palpitations, Jack.
Bro, it's gonna be one of the most insane events of all time. There's just no doubt in my mind about that. Bez loves Shane being pressured now by Dubs. Dubs did get a solid shot downrange.
Cool.
Unfortunately, shotgun not reloaded, so we'll have to take a moment there to let that weapon reset. As now the zone going back the way it just came, so.
Less than 50 builds now. Dubs, 70 HP, has a chance. Just kidding, 100 HP. A little misspeak there. 11 players left. Freak Twinkie goes down. Shots from above. Another player. Title shot found outside of a window, looking through for a peek. Potentially doesn't quite get it. Shots in the back instead. A big trade out there. The legendary combat shotgun.
Oh, this movement is just
forward.
dirty.
Looking for the shot. Doesn't quite go for it. No chance just yet. Mustache from Tempo. In the feed, picking up another Elam. We're in a top 8 now. Dubs, quick edit. Takes out the top half, looking for shots through. A reset and rotation. Dubs, so fast. So blindingly fast.
Yep.
You want to try and keep up with anybody.
Stinks from height again.
This is literally like you're setting the tempo right here.
Mm-hmm. Should have enough time to pop this big shield. Thankfully, the stink grenade bombardment has stopped. Remember, top 5 is the last placement points outside of winning the game, and just like that, Dubs has made it on into the top 5. Now up to 28 points. Still building out. Turret comes into play for that extra health on the build so it doesn't get shot down. And oh no, the build he was going to land on gets shot out. Trying to put pressure on, gets one. How about a second? Not going to happen. Baldy wins that fight. The challenge comes in from the high ground. Baldy so weak. How will he make this pop? How will he make this happen? Baldy spraying, frantically trying to get this player to fall on down. 4 HP. There's no way, right? I mean, there's no way, right?
There's always a way, Jack. Don't count him out just yet.
Baldy, one tick of the storm ends this game. The player was building with metal, and
there it is.
That's it right there.
John holds the high ground, the last second victory royale. He was one of the first players we jumped on board with in this game.
Lock it up.
Locking it up.
Yeah.
Sitting in the top of the hill and ends up paying off big.
Oh, yeah. Nice job there by John. See who will win that game. Victory royale. Shout out to Baldy, though. A good little performance at the end. Did what he could.
That last second drop, though. It literally, he had it all up until that moment. Ton of fall damage in the drop in. Could not quite find an elimination outside in the storm.
Okay.
We're going backwards through a basketball.
Wow, that's fancy. Whoa. I just got the chills. There you go, production. That's my cue. As we head into our next game, 51 players in this lobby when we hop on in.
The northeast side of Mega Mall, 50-50 zone, and there's enough players left alive right now that Storm Surge is going to be an issue. Not for AJ, though. 320 damage above. Sees a player through that pyramid edit. Looks like they're going for the replace. He's just going to hold the turbo build above. Drops in, tries to catch him off guard. Not fast enough. The first time is fast enough. The second time, Malwax goes down to the trap. AJ inside his own box. Well played there. 2 slurps, 6 minis.
Shields for days, movement for days, mats for days. AJ, these are the games that when you're set up, you're in your head, you're like, I need to make this a big one. I've got everything I need. And there's no other way to put it. These are games that will either go the way you need them to go and be the things that push you towards being able to qualify, or don't go the way you want them to go and legitimately tilt you for the rest of your day playing. Whoa. Speaking of tilt, phase tilt now on your screen. It's pretty good, right? Okay, Ben, Jesus. Did you take your meds yet?
Is that a good enough laugh? Do you feel validated now, Jack?
I do feel validated now, thank you.
Okay.
It makes a difference.
I'm out here for you, Jack.
I know.
100
being popped.
50 now. No Elims yet this game, 28 points. No in the feed, picking up Zine. 90 builds right now. And the ultimate weapon, the gray tactical shotgun in the inventory. Got to feel good about that one, right, Jack?
Oh,
100% agree.
You said it's the best gun in the game, right?
It is the best, arguably, unequivocally, the best weapon. Tilt, pick it up. Elam on Smoke Gabe there. Quick window edit resets, very common here. Position like this, you're basically smack dab, middle of the safe zone. I don't know for sure if Tilt has any mobility besides the shadow bomb, so I would expect a door edit and push soon once he feels like there's too much on the line, if he's too close to the storm. But we'll see. Maybe a launch pad.
Yeah.
If he's going to use it, it's got to be soon. You don't want to wait too long with that.
This is when you're just like hoping someone like rips you to the sky out of nowhere or places a launch pad right next to you to let you have some sort of free movement.
Middle, in the middle of your screen for just a second. One of the common high placement players in solos.
He's already qualified.
Exactly.
And yesterday finished atop our leaderboard, right? Tilt right now is actually below the damage threshold for the Storm Surge. And typically when Storm Surge pops up, it forces some people to play like maniacs. You got to do something crazy to make sure you don't take this damage. Tilt running on through, still 43 below, has to be going to put damage downrange. There's a nice little tag. Now above, good stuff from him. As more players have started to drop, is safe for the moment using both shadow bombs, Ben.
Okay.
Here on this rotation, and you know, you might be like, well, if that's all his movement, then I mean, isn't that bad? But you think about it. Right now, you're at 34, top 34. You want those placement points.
100%.
You've spent a lot of time in this game. You've got one elimination, and right now you're probably, what, every bit of 15 minutes, 17 minutes into this game? If you don't get placement points out of this, if you don't get at least 5 to 7 points off this one, it could really come back to haunt you as this day goes on. Tilt gets one, now 4 spots away from being in the top 25. Remember, 3 points earned if you make it there.
Okay, now 3 players need to go down before we're looking at placement. Very top of the zone, Corey. Rogue Shark vying for high ground. Looks like Shark gets the ultimate high with ease and does place a trap down just in case anybody tries to challenge. And on the same box, opportunity to just take some shots. Looking up here, back-to-back combat shots on that player. You can hear a ball underneath. I think Shark trying to be as cognizant
top
of
25
that as possible. There it is. Placement points going out for everybody. Shots on every player on the rotation. And if Shark can land even 1 or 2 solid hits, the combat shotgun, we've seen it be very lethal. Ranges like this, 18 points right now, and here we go, beaming player on the drop-in. A lot of shield damage, finds Frosted Spy in the air. No fall damage taken, 190 total now. Another player, back-to-back. The Vera goes down. Shark picking up the 4th elimination. Almost to the top 15 and playing this very, very well. The only concern I really have at this point is materials are going to start getting low soon, especially if you're forced to double up on layers.
When you're already having to build out from height that early on, you already mentioned it, 46 total builds left. How can Rogue Shark use them wisely? 15 players now remaining, so 2 more placement points earned for everyone that's still live in this lobby. Players continue to drop on out quick. Rogue Shark showing off just how good the combat shotgun is, whether players are flying from up above or running frantically down low. With that rift pulling up, I think it was 2 players. You think Rogue Shark's going to begin to peek on up and try to make sure no one can land on him. I think they just...
There we go, 1 flying in.
1.
Jaith eliminated. Top 10. AJ does, however, take the high ground. Honestly, it looked like with ease, just getting the flint knock to ascend all the way to the top, challenging
my gosh.
A build-off.
What a shot. They're going for height right now between the 2 of them. Rogue Shark down to just 21 total builds. Has to reload this flint knock and has to go for the play of his career. Knocks the 1 player down to the box. Shotgun comes through. Tyler's was not ready for that to happen, and Rogue Shark is rewarded by a ton of builds, but it's still AJ up top.
Shark for sure has the ability to drop down. That flint knock could save him. You're concerned about what's in his inventory.
He went for it.
He went for it.
Rogue Shark flint knocks to the high ground, knocks out AJ's build, and replaces it. He's got to reload this flint knock quick. Drop it down. Did make it as well. Rogue Shark showing off how good the flint knock pistol is. One of the most versatile weapons in Fortnite Battle Royale history. We're now in our top 4. Rogue Shark continuing to be a hero from this high ground.
Literally just plugging.
There goes
above.
2
Noah
more.
Goes down. It's a 1v1. Nightseeker on the ultimate low ground, 29 builds, some bandages if it comes to a heal off, which means Shark's gonna have to apply pressure, plus an RPG.
That's CG. That's
Nightseeker
GG.
taking in the outside of the storm. Unless there's a chance at a shot, there isn't. Nightseeker goes down. Shark, the flint knock, earns the high ground multiple times and the victory royale.
Incredible stuff right there from Rogue Shark. A 9-elimination win. 19 points. Zeke and Sundown.
19 points at this stage in the game. My goodness, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah, he's pretty good at the game. Luckily, we'll be seeing him in New York City. Rogue Shark has already got that qualification up there. But let's take a quick look at some of the other players who have already qualified and one player who's putting on a little bit of a show and might be able to put himself in contention. So first, we're going to hop on board with the veteran Vivid. And as Golden Boy says, when in doubt, throw a grenade or 17. Vivid throwing every one of the explodes there. Picks up a nice little elim, and that actually gives him positioning to then start running on the mid-tart. Picks up Navy Rob there, and then continues rotating forward, doing all this now with the combat that he was able to pick up there. And notice in the top left-hand corner, this is outside the top 25. We watched him pick up 3 elims, survive into the top 25, and then enable himself to get more. Challenging into the stink, knowing he would get that siphon. Now, Clicks on board here, was at 10 HP, gets a shadow. What does he do with it? He's then able to translate that into a boogie, drops the player out, and then all of a sudden, he gets another shadow. This is what we mean when we talk about how every little interaction counts. If Clicks doesn't pick up the elim at 10 HP, doesn't get the shadow to enable him to get the boogie bombs, which doesn't let him pick up the next 2 elims, which gives him more shadows and gives him high ground control. And look here how he extends out the timer on the shadow bomb. He's in shadow form the whole time, is able to get into the player's box, picks up Nut, who is on the top 10 of the leaderboard right now. So it's not like he's just cleaning out the bottom of the barrel. These are other players competing for a spot. And Clicks, I remember originally watching him in the Lux Cup and thinking, wow, this kid Clicks on YouTube. He's pretty good. I hope we get to see more of him. Well, we're going to be seeing more, particularly if he's closing out games like that. Niku, the only player in this little package who isn't already qualified for the World Cup, but goes on a great little spree here. 150 in terms of his builds, and that's going to enable him to kind of navigate this super, super tightly packed tarp. You saw 25 players there in Circle 8. Circle 9, still 13 players left. He still has 97 builds. That's because his mentality is he's looking for the elims, picks up a number of jump pads, and refreshes on builds again. So keep an eye on the top left. 7 players left now, and he challenges into the high ground. All of a sudden, he picks up this elim here, knocks the player out with the storm changeover, and top 5 ultimate high ground control and nothing else. Showtang picks up the 2 on the bottom, but Nico is just going to be able to wait him out. Doesn't get a tag going over there, so the storm will tick him over. And last but not least, it wouldn't be a highlight reel if we didn't show Dubs. Taker of Walls, best average placement in a Sunday final, as Courage said, with a 6th, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd coming out there, averaging 3rd place overall in what is one of the most stacked regions. You see him just take the wall right away from Yoshi and continue running through the tarp, always looking for opportunities, looking to challenge, wanting to take the shots, and pressuring the rest of the lobby. Hey, you want to win the Fortnite World Cup, you have to be beating players like this. You have to beat the Dubses, the Clicks, the Vivids of the world in order to get up there. And right now, Clicks is flexing, saying, yeah, I'm in 1st place. What of it?
Man, after 6 games, 2 victorials, one of only 2 people in top 10 with the 2, he's got himself that pretty hefty lead. I mean, don't forget, guys, it is top 6, so making their way into finals, so this is the cutoff point right here. But if we look outside of the Clicks' lead, right, 42 to 38, again, these points are still really, really close.
Like I said, it's the difference, 26th to 25th, popping a shadow bomb, waiting a half second before you rotate.
Literally. Oh, actually, you know what I just thought about? This already qualified.
Yep,
you were going to say...
bump one more down. It's all good.
Yeah, so
no worries, because at this point, really, like the one little spot with all of these guys here, as soon as one more match changes over, this whole thing is going to change. The leaderboard is so absurdly close. These are the moments that matter. This is where you will be able to cement yourself as one of the best of the best. And if you don't do it now, you won't be on that stage in New York City competing for your piece of the $30 million prize pool.
Too bad we cannot compete for that prize pool, but oh well, only the future could tell. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Fortnite fam, Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. We are going to go to a break, so get up, stretch your legs, find a snack, use the bathroom. But don't get too far, because in 5 minutes, we've got more action. Don't get too far. See you then. Zeke, this is it. This is the last chance, all right? People need to know about this block party, all right? This is your last opportunity to get them involved, to get them hyped. Zeke, everyone's gonna be there, all right? DJ Zeke's gonna be there. DJ Sundown's gonna be there. Everyone's gonna be there, all right? The people are waiting. All right. You know what, man? I'm DJ Zeke. I don't need no card. But what you need to do is buy your tickets to the block party. Tickets are only $35, Fortnite fam. Listen, all right, June 15th, 16th at the LA Forum. Day 1, Creative Showdown. Listen, all right, Team Evolve built an incredible map. Spoiler alert, it's dope. Day 2, Celebrity Pro-Am. 50 pro gamers, 50 celebrities, all battling out for a $3 million charity prize pool. What more do you want? What more do you need? Fortnite fam, you need to be there because we are ready to party with you. Bam!
What's up, Fortnite fam? Sundown here, and today we are going to talk about shadow bombs and their impact on competitive play. If you haven't had a chance to use the shadow bomb yet, it is a utility consumable that drops in stacks of 2, and you can carry up to 6 per slot. When used, the shadow bomb grants the user invisibility, move speed, the ability to double jump, and the ability to wall jump. Shadow form lasts for 6 seconds, but will remain active after that window until the user touches their feet on the ground. We've seen shadow bombs already have a huge impact on some of the Fortnite World Cup online open qualifiers.
Can he hit it? Oh my gosh! He hits it! You freaking legend! Are you kidding me?
Now, let's hear what some of the players who have already qualified for the Fortnite World Cup final think of the addition of shadow bombs to competitive play.
I think with Season 9, the shadow bombs are a perfect mobility that has its downsides and upsides if you use it right.
I mean, I think shadow bombs are very balanced right now. They're a really good way of getting mobility considering they're an uncommon item.
I feel like they're a really good addition to the game. It's as good as a Rift to Go, maybe even better in my opinion. You can get your position wherever you want to, especially end zone. People don't expect it.
A little bit of HP left.
You're gonna pull it! It's a must carry. You know, when that zone pops and you're super far, you can pop a shadow bomb and just get to the next zone. It's great. I love them.
Shadow bombs are amazing. Like, I reckon that's like one of the best things they've brought out so far because you could just sneak into someone's box or like get high ground or like go low ground without taking damage.
There's moments where people clutch up, like very end game, like they might not have mats. And the Mr. Savage play where there's a hill and you went up it with the shadow bomb, it was just crazy.
They've got to go up the side of the mountain, and it's shadow bomb time. He's deciding to take storm damage. Yes. Mr. Savage! Oh my God! Oh my goodness! What a play! The best shadow bomb use I've ever seen. Mr. Savage M rising to the top of the mountain.
Thanks for watching, and hopefully you learned a thing or two. What's the best way you've used a shadow bomb? Send us clips using the hashtag Fortnite World Cup, and we'll see you guys on the battle bus. Or maybe not, if you're in shadow form.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fortnite World Cup Open Online Qualifiers. Week 9, the solos action has been fantastic through and through so far. We've covered Europe. We're midway through NA East. And I know you don't want to see me. You want to get back into the action. So guess what? We've got two great casters for you, Sundown and Monster D-Face.
Let's get it. Here with my boy Sundown, and man, that leaderboard shaking up. Good to see Macwood up there. We saw him getting really close week and week again, and like you said, though, anything is in the air.
Dude, it's so incredibly close. We've seen the semifinals, everybody kind of crunching up there, but let's get right on into the matches. I want to see how this all resolves and who gets those last 6 solo spots out of NA East. The action has been intense. The leaderboard is close. Use that hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Let us know who you think will make it out, because the leaderboard is changing every time a match finishes. And now we're on board here with Spook. 49 players left, so just under half the lobby.
Yeah, the only player we've seen really take a lead today is Andretta. Outside of Andretta, no one else. The boards have been extremely close, top to bottom here. So now hopping in with Spook, guys. 50 minutes left to queue up here. We're midway through it. Halfway through all the queue times and the games we'll be seeing here for the NA's block. It's going to be a close one.
It's going to be close. I mean, every single region has come down to some form of last match, whether it's a player overtaking at the last minute or you saw Blacksup get the victory royale, everything he needed on the final match of the server. There's Spook picking up ramen there, no 99-cent deal. Back to the lobby, you can queue back up. Like we said, just under an hour left in the queue times. You get 3 hours or 10 matches to score as many points as possible, and this lobby is stacked. Outlet, Diggy, Macwood, all directly on top of each other right now. Macwood getting some pressure onto that cone, but not finding anything after the heavy snipe.
Yeah, nice angles right here, just playing with the perspective that he has. He drops a player there with the heavy sniper. No fall damage was given, though, which means that player slid on down safe and sound through the side of the mountain here. So Macwood is back in the hunt, just looking around on the prowl right now. And so far, so good. 46 players remain in the 6-man, or Storm Wave 6 is approaching here, I should say. Tons of players. That means no placement points have been given out, and these players have put close to 15, 18 minutes or so of time into this game right here.
Yeah,
so if you get knocked out before the placement threshold, that's going to be rough to kind of swallow in here.
It's all about time efficiency. You see Roat taking over the Storm there. That is part of those new changes with patch 9.20. If somebody has been tagged in the past 60 seconds and they either self-eliminate, fall to the Storm, or fall to fall damage, you will get the Elim credit. Now you can see Macwood trying to get onto the edge of the zone, as we do have to rotate across the lagoon, so it could get awkward. You have Wrigley, who's in the second spot, the player who has been very much so coming up through these open matches recently. You see Percently also picking up an Elim there. Storm threshold on your right-hand side. Macwood is 402 above it. What the Storm Surge does, since a little bit of a different mechanic, if players are being too passive, as Macwood not passive at all, going for the no-scope Blainer of the Year, misses it there. If players are too passive and haven't done damage, the Storm Surge will punish you, doing 10 damage per tick as that goes off until you either are above the threshold or you're eliminated. Just like that, Strep picks up Macwood. No antibiotics used there, but a nice Elim in point going over to Strep.
Yeah, and this is it right here. I don't think we've seen as many ballers throughout the day, but my gosh, there are so many still in play. That's a big reason why there's so many players still alive right now, guys. The vehicles are out. Nice double shot with the combat right there. Strep connecting big time here. Someone comes out the Storm. Kuros gets flicked on and taken out of the game. Back to the lobby he goes. And Strep finds himself at 29 points. Can he make it 30? That's 2 big shots. Up and over the top he goes. He still wants this one, but no, gets taken up by CWV. Saw FaZe Diggy there as well in the feed. There's a lot going on here, Sundown.
good job there from CWV, but Outlet is running that high ground down now, but took a ton of damage. There's actually a player directly above him who just lasered him. That was 150-0 in the blink of an eye. Now you have Neferux of Luminosity Gaming. We're inside the top 25%. Still up. Demo still up. Neferux still up as well. Outlet just got beamed. Neferux is going to edit out, pop the shadow, and get over to the far side. Will need to about face as he does get blocked into the player's build, opting to go around it and build just over. Nice little ramp for the separation. Fox picks up Jesus, so he's going to go down. You see defensive traps put in place by the player next to Neferux. Tech gets K's, and we're getting closer and closer to top 15. Fox is now out. Double edit, and he got it. Demo's in.
Oh, he gets both of them. Shaz and Demo go right down. The combat, the fire rate.
And it gets him into the top 15, and it gives him a shadow bomb. That is a massive 4-point swing and could potentially end up being more for Neferux.
He had 0 materials as well. This really puts them back in the game here, guys. It was all looking so grim as Neferux is now looking to find tendons. Will we be able to connect here? He's got the traps out. He finds someone down in the water. He could still commit here, and he does. Tendons goes down. He doesn't have any shield, though.
Good job sticking with that. Saw that Tendons was over the side. Got his Elam kind of poached away from him there, but manages to stay with it. Saw where the tracer fire was and identified the player. Now on 31 points. 7 players remaining. Wrigley, who we just saw, was in that top 3 directly above him. You have Lyricid 2 above him. Ozaiko does pick up B-Hegs, and Neferux looks for the double edit. He has no more mats, so nothing doing with the launch pad. Will he find another sick double from Neferux? Can he make it a triple? He's looking. He needs to get back in the storm zone. He does. Shots coming out. Shots from the player above. Double edit. Loses it. Wrigley picks it up, but can Wrigley find the zone? He did get the siphon. He needs to circle back around, and he found it, but there's tons of natural building here. Spook, everything is for him. Has 6 builds, not a ton going on here, but has the high ground, and everyone moving over. HP advantage was to him. Wrigley caught every one of those pellets with his face, but a good individual effort pushes Spook up to 34 points. 70 limbs, victory royale.
Solid game for Spook right there, picking up a 17-point game. That's how fast you can go from the teens right up into the 30-point bracket, putting you in contention for top 5, making your way to New York City Finals. But man, Neferux, he had crazy play there with the double edit down. I thought it was all over for a second there, but off to the next one here, guys.
Always.
Pleasant Park. Little action right here, Sundown.
Always on to the next one there. 45 minutes left in the queue. And remember, last time we checked out on the leaderboard, 38th was 2nd place. Clicks was in 1st, but had already previously qualified. 10th was 33rd. Donnie JJ was up on that list. He's currently sitting there in 37th. Has the rare heavy AR as well as the rare tac, single shadow bomb, and 3 minis with 199 effective HP. So not in a bad spot, particularly as he picks up Z-Laner there, going to try and push in and get whatever loot from that he can.
Yeah, it was a nice little pick right there, but little hiccup right there as we kind of catch up here. He is going for the loot. It's going to be risky. He steps right next to Parallel Tree's box. Cannot step into those walls. That was clearly a mistake there.
And he got him with the flint. And one thing you notice there, as Trey poked out, it kind of messed him up because the flint pushed him into the corner of the box. He missed his first shot because of that. Might have been able to win the trade, but wasn't enough. Get pops off on shields.
Clix has definitely made a name for himself here in the competitive Fortnite scene. Just interesting to see what he'll be able to do now in New York City. He is kind of shown up, really taking the scene by storm, honestly.
I'm so excited for LAN. Like, I'm so absurdly excited. Not just because we get to see all of these players all in the same custom lobby for the entirety of the game, see what the contestants go out, but just, does somebody play different? Is somebody a little more hesitant? Is somebody more aggressive?
I think they do. I think some players are going to stick to their roots and push through, but that might be the downfall, man. These guys are just going to be waiting for something to pop off to, server collapse, if you want to call it that. This server collapsing is going to be disgusting at Fortnite World Cup.
I got faith, man. Because don't forget, those elims still worth the point, man.
Yeah,
Still got to go out there. They'll be able to get it. Clicks, pick it up. Trey there, who we saw earlier with a nice flintlock play, but not going to save you from Clicks as he pushes in with that epic combat shotgun. Pops his last shadow bomb and is going to get moving over onto the far side of the zone.
Love what he's doing too. He's got so much material. He's playing for higher elevation right here. But with this many players alive, no layer is safe, especially not the lowest. In comes the drum gun pressure right there. Does see a player on the campfire, decides, hey, he's still got shield. Focuses on the next person. This is the problem with having a drum gun. Notice that was a little sloppy.
I was about
players
to say,
are so exposed.
And also that first bloom shot, man, that was rough. He literally had the guy painted, and it was just like one of the scenes out of the cartoons. We hit everything but him, and right there, Shababan Clicks hits everything, including you. Trap shotgun right there. You have Exulting just below Clicks. The controller player duo of Excels trying to put some pressure on him, but just going to disengage. Grandma just below him. We've seen him on the leaderboards time and time again. Symphony also in his own box, but Bizzle is going to smell him out there and send him back to the lobby. Well done from the week 1 qualifier. And the Ghost General, the highest earning Fortnite player in competitive history right now, is trying to make his mark on this lobby, sitting at 30 points, already qualified 2 boogies, heavy sniper, and the legendary combat.
Yep, and this is exactly where he likes to be, that end game. A little more placement threshold being broken into right there. A nice little edit, catches a clean elim on Nicole, who had the storm pressure. You notice that did crumble just a bit there.
And he's into the top 15 as well. Right, the player right on the side is looking for it. Slem was actually the one to pick that up. So Bizzle going to continue going forward. And this is where he loves to fight. I know Bala has been a big talk about it, but how good the Ghost guys are at tunneling and fighting from their tunnel, whether it's Sean or Bizzle or Demo or Snood, every single one of them can fight from these angles, and Bizzle trying to do it. No. But the ramp in his face, Boogie Bombs, Disco out in the open. Leo being the benefactor of that one. Kydra, honestly, just, I don't know if it was luck, benefactor, right time, right place, but Bizzle gets sent back. Grandma, however, picks up Leo right after, so we're on board with Shaded Talent on the ultimate low ground as Grandma picks up another one.
Yep, Grandma is in this game. You see him popping off in the feed. Shaded trying to get up higher. The higher he goes, the closer he gets to Grandma. Will he be able to connect right here? Does land a shot. It's Click who goes down. Beautiful trap, too. You put it on the ceiling. It's undodgeable, essentially. And that was how he caught Clicks off guard right there. Shaded Talent, now one step closer to high ground. He is going to step out into the storm and sacrifice just a bit more to get nice and secure set up in the top here.
And then he has the stinks to be able to rain him down. I don't know if he realized he's completely uncontested, but now AJ is forced right out in the storm. And with the tick over from the storm change, he's going to get it. He'd get it either way, but Shaded smelt it, he dealt it, and everyone else in the lobby had to deal with it. 4 elims and the victory royale, bumping him up to 33 points.
You would think we'd see more end games like that, where the stinks just flush out everyone in the low ground, but to hold on to something so valuable to the end, that's a tough play.
How rarely are you like getting into a top 3 situation where you have uncontested high ground and you have 2 stinks? Like, the reason that doesn't typically end up happening, you don't see that more often. You think like, oh, that's the best use case for a stink. Yes, if you get into that situation.
You got to make it there, and then like you got to hold on to him. So.
Right. But whereas if you, and we've talked about this, I know Courage is a big advocate, if you have 3 stinks in a solo and somebody's boxed up, you can effectively eliminate them, right? You can chase them around or at least force them to burn a ton of materials. So that's why you tend to see players opt to use them, because you can get kind of tags on players. Oh, Yak trying to go for the immediate wall replace, but you can see how there's a little bit of an issue when you get exposed. If the other player goes to shoot first, you know, they get that first shot on you as that happens right there. And Yak trades it back out with Bizbo. You can take the wall and own it all you want, but if you don't hit the shots, it doesn't matter.
That was 2 125s. Precision aim right there. Yak finds himself a ton of loot, materials, zone. He's got so much going for him now.
It was actually kind of a misplay by the other player. I think it was Bisbo. When you're kind of poking there, you need to shoot, and right as you shoot, move your character model over to the left. He just sat his character model in the window, basically framed his face to catch those pellets. Make sure you're abusing that right-hand advantage. If you have it, you can't give it up, or you can't have it and then not use it. Otherwise, you don't have an advantage. But now, the other half of the Dubs Mega pairing trying to push in here, has full qualified already for the solos and duos, and is now trying to put a little pressure on this player on the outside.
One step closer, he did take the wall. He doesn't even know it was his cone too. Did try to combat it, Flint follow up Frosted. It was just too fast. Mega was just too fast for him to react. He was one step ahead of him every single moment, in every single moment of that battle right there.
Man, it must feel awful to just get victimized by Mega and
I would be
Dubs.
so upset to go against one of these guys. They're too quick. Literally
They're just very, and we talk about like what makes some of these players good. In some circumstances, they do everything right. Sometimes they're just very good and they're fast. Like that would be what I say, kind of Mega, Dubs, Benji, Fishy, Mr. Savage. Well, they all have like certain types of traits about them, and certain things they do well. Yes, they're all incredibly fast-paced players with everything they do, and in and of themselves, that's almost their defining trait: the quickness at which they do everything. Beating somebody in Fortnite to the punch by a quarter of a second is enough for a shot. If you're doing that every single time, you're getting their wall every single time because you're that much faster, then you're going to be able to snowball those advantages, compound them into something better. That's why the best of the best are so consistent.
As we focus in on Mega here, let's see what he's gonna do. We have praised him enough on how quick he is. He's at 14 eliminations. If you don't believe us by now, you're crazy. You don't get that high, that aggressive in finals. Guys, mind you, this is everything on the line for New York City, right? Potentially. And he just pushes through. Just goes all the way through, no hesitation. That's one. Someone else does join the battle here. Finds him as well. Quick little flick right there.
That was just gross.
16 elims.
He hit the flint knock headshot. I was honestly like, I half thought he was going to push in for the pickaxe. The flint knock will do the 180 if you get that full headshot there, but instead sticks with the combat and then picks up the nice little double. But now it needs to be careful of the 6. Good job getting up 2 blocks, and then luckily, as he pops the shadow, the shots miss towards the door. So, you know, sometimes you got to make your own luck. Mega catching it right there is going to put down the campfire as well as the 2 minis. If you blinked, you might have missed it, but he's now in the center of his zone, boxed up, campfire one side, launch pad in the zone next to him, and now reloading all of his weapons, ready for the next rush.
Yeah, he did manage to drop the flint and pick up a grenade launcher. Interesting to see how that's going to play out here in this end game, because it's not typical you see someone have a grenade launcher towards these congested zones. But this is the perfect time to use all these shadow bombs, guys. Just keep him in the game and rotating. He is on someone's heels right here. He was really trying to get that elim right there, chasing him all the way up.
And one thing that's super important to note there, notice how he didn't jump or double jump or wasn't sprinting. He was literally walking directly behind the player. Any of those other movement options would have given away, and the player would have known, would have had an opportunity to box him in, potentially trap him out. That's what we talk about when we say do all of the little things right. You might not think about it. You might think, oh, I get the double jump, I better use it. No, players adapt. They've gotten used to it. They know to look for the smoke trails, to just throw bullets towards it and to hope to get it. But Mega going one step farther, and he still has 2 more, enabling him so much. And here go the grenades. Will we see Mr. Savage 2.0, who is the best billiard player in NA? He fires all of them down low, and no ticks coming through yet.
But the pressure of the explodes, the sounds, it's as much of a mind game as it is the whole psych just to kind of connect here. So let's see what Mega's gonna do. He's looking for the elims down low. He doesn't care about who's up above. He's trying to inch his way down here. Just taking a little bit more control of this layer. He doesn't have any movement, any freedom space here. He's gonna find Dream TV.
Wait. That was a grenade tag. It had to have been. He hasn't shot anybody else in the last minute. So he had to have hit somebody with a grenade, gets flint knocked out into the zone there, but can he cover himself? 7 HP. Oh! Mega drops down. Winteroo, you can go back. It's the time of summer, and it's the time of FaZe Mega. What a sick edit and sick play. Now up to 107 effective HP. Papa Eggy on the high ground. Hoffner gets personally victimized by Mega, like basically the rest of the entire lobby, up to 19 elims, but now on the low ground. Shadow Bomb comes out from Eggy. Hot feet for Mega, hot feet for Eggy, but he's in the shadow, and Mega finds him. He finds him because he jumped, Monster.
I don't know how he just did that, but he managed to really pull through and clutch up at the end. That was as close as we've ever seen it, and that was a 20 elimination game there.
30 points. 30 points for Mega. We saw him at 7 HP again.